Hello? Turn this on. Do this. Go here. Don't know why it says I'm not live, but we should be live. On YouTube, at least. I think it's working on Twitch. It is working on Twitch. There we go. Now it says I'm live on YouTube. Nice. All right. Taylor is first. Welcome in. Get this over here. What's up, Box? Welcome in. Juan redeemed bingo. So for those who don't know, that means we get to look at my bingo card, even though I have like no progress towards it, but it's just to show what hunts I'm kind of planning on doing. So here we go. Here's my bingo card. I got the Vulpix and the Sizzlipede. Obviously, we're working on Mew. We're also working on the Dratini in the right-hand side. And, what else was there? Oh, I'm going to be working on Psyduck pretty soon. But we just had some pretty bad luck, so we haven't gotten that much. What's up, Ash? And Kentucky Fried Chicken Sandwich. Welcome in. You don't think it matters, though? It always matters. But, yeah, there's my hunts. Notable ones would be Celebi, Manaphy. I don't think I'm going to get to Manaphy this year. But we got some of the hunts that you have to do before, like, bank closes on here. So, like, Type Null, Poipole, Celebi, Manaphy. I don't have Jirachi or Deoxys on here. But, yeah. And then all of the game, I have all the Gen 3 Game Corner except for Dratini, because I just did Dratini from the Game Corner. So we got, like, Porygon, Pinsir, Abra, Clefairy. I think that's it. So one time this year, I'm gonna just try to crank out all the Game Corner shinies. So that's what that is. But there is my bingo card for this year. And now we're gonna continue hunting for Mew. Juan, thank you for the shiny luck. Let me tweet out the stream. I always forget to do that, but I remembered this time. That's good. And now, for once, I don't need my Bidoof counter, because we're not doing Bidoof today. We're going to try to full force the Mew today. Well, full force the Mew and also do distortions, because, like, we just got to get the distortions in. I think. Is this delayed? I can't tell. I don't know if I can get it better than what it is. Taylor with the watch streak. What's my favorite starter? It is Trico is my favorite starter. Let me do this really quick just in case there's a delay. Hunting for shiny Misty Mark, Wooper, good luck. Paldean or Johto? Oh wait, it's gotta be Johto, right? I don't think you can get the Paldean one with the Misty Mark. Okay, yeah, I think we're good. Mew counter 14,700, man. Favorite starter is the same region. I've said this before, like, I am never really wowed by starters. Typically. Like, sometimes I'll say I don't really like a starter, and people will be like, I can't believe you slandered this, but it's like, honestly, there's only a handful of starters I do really like. And it's like the Gen 1 starters, the Gen 3 starters, some of the Gen 4 starters, and like Rowlet. And like every other starter, I'm just like, eh. So yeah, I think Gen 3 has the best starters, like by far. don't know how I'm like... I swear the inputs on my right game are different, but I think it's just me. Alright, back at it. Favorite starter is Mudkip. A lot of people like Mudkip. Funny enough, here's the thing. Mudkip is my least favorite starter of Gen 3, but it's still like one of the best starters of all time. That's just how good Gen 3 is. I just like Blaziken, like, just a little bit more. You like Torterra? Yeah, Torterra's a cool one. I'm not the biggest fan of the Piplup line. Do you would try hunt real shiny Sinistea? Yes, I actually already have one. I'm like the one who's known to have an authentic Sinistea shiny, because I have the one with the rare mark. So if you saw someone get a shiny authentic Sinistea with the rare mark somewhere, that was me. Mudkip's actually a mud skipper too. Well, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Its name is almost Mudskip. How do you even get shiny Celebi now? You have to get it in Crystal Virtual Console. But you can't buy Crystal Virtual Console anymore, so if you don't have Crystal, you're kind of out of luck unless you homebrew your 3DS. Okay, I swear my camera's at an angle. Hold on. I do like really subtle. Really subtle. I don't think it's getting much better than that. Why does am I crazy or is the focus like weird on this? That looks pretty good. Oh, it was weird. Okay. There. It was like it was almost like focused like too well so that the colors were like off. You love Mudkip? Yeah, Mudkip's a lot of people's favorite. My two favorite starters are Trico and Rowlet. Alright, I gotta do something really quick. Hopefully it doesn't get too hot in here because I closed my door. No distortions yet. Which honestly I'm okay with. Gotta get these Mew encounters in, man. I also just hit 10,000 on my Dratini hunt last night. I'm really hoping to get that one soon. I think at this point, I think once I get Dratini, I'm gonna start doing some Safari hunting. Which I know it's like super early, but my original plan was to do Psyduck in the Safari Zone before Safari Week, but I feel like that would be a better like way to end Safari Week. Because the encounters are slow for that, so it's like if I were to like get unlucky or like fail it or something, I don't want to like have my whole Safari Week be like just going for Psyduck when that was a hunt I planned to do outside of Safari Week anyway. See how much more encounters we get not doing Bidoof anymore. See if I can be locked into this. We got random frames now, so, like, you know, it's literally every normal shiny hunt ever. And we're really far in. We ain't going 20k for this. There is a thing, though, about shiny hunting where, like, the odds are so low, like 1 in 8,192, that, like, on one hand, you're like, alright, there's no way I hit the frame and get the shiny. On the other hand, it's like, alright, I've done 14,000 chances at a 1 in 8,192, where's the shiny? You're, like, both, like, feeling like you should for sure be getting it soon, and also you'll never get it. It's like a weird state of mind that I get when I'm, like, really far in for shiny hunting. I have both I should be getting this and both I'm never gonna get this at the same time feelings. Get a shiny Dratini and Heart Gold after 1481 resets. Is that buying 5 at a time? Or is that 1481, like, bought? So it's like that, but, like, times 5. I'm currently 10,000 in, which is, that's like 50 resets per game, right? 100 resets. Oh, wait, no, that'd be, I think that's 200 resets, because 5,000 would be 100. So it'd be 100 resets per game, because I'm hunting on 2 games. So 2,000 resets. Oh, only 4? Okay. Taylor, thank you for the mark luck. Unfortunately, we aren't be getting marks this stream. But thank you for the shiny luck as well. It is crazy that I'm only, I think, 7 alphas away from having every alpha in Legends. It's only a matter of time before I complete that. The mark luck is for the next mark hunt. Yeah, I gotta get this Mew first. Once I get this Mew, I'm gonna be going for Milcery. I have to play through my Sword and Shield copies, though. Because the really unfortunate reality is that you have to beat the entire game in order to even have Misty, Foggy Weather be a thing, which is so weird to me. Well, you don't have to beat the entire game, but you have to beat Leon at the end. You don't have to, like, catch Zacian or Zamazenta, but, yeah, like, I just think it's weird that they, like, restrict certain weathers behind the story. I don't understand. Especially, like, the one weather I needed is, like, you have to beat the whole game. But I gotta play through Sword and Shield anyway for my Gen 8 Pokeball only challenge anyway, so it's gonna be like kill 2 birds with 1 stone, so that'll be nice. You're shiny hunting random encounters for Dino and White and SRing for Hydreigon and X. Where do you SR for Hydreigon in X? That's kind of crazy. There's a wild Hydreigon in X that you can soft reset for? I didn't know that. I keep messing up this left game. You found your shiny Wooper? Nice. Yeah, I'm going to be going for the Misty Mark in Sword and Shield, but the plan is to go for 7 shiny Milcery full odds. If I don't get the Misty Mark by 7 shiny Milcery, which, by the way, is going to take a while because Milcery is far from a 100% encounter rate. So it's going to be roughly 1 in 3, roughly 20 full odd shinies before I get 7. If I somehow don't get the... I'll have Mark Charm, so it'll be like a 1 in 16 rate. If I somehow don't get the shiny by then... you know. Or, sorry, if I somehow don't get the mark by then, we'll go to Scarlet and Violet and hunt the Misty Mark then. But the last 2 marks, they have to be done in Sword and Shield. Dry and Curry. sending me the shiny luck. Thank you. And what's up, Geo? Thank you guys for the shiny luck. You definitely need it. 14,742 on this Mew. What was that? I think it was 11,400 on Bidoof, and then just hit 10,000 on Dratini. So overall, with the 3 hunts I'm going for, we're over 30k with nothing. Do you kill the pink sheep? If you want to. Is this in Scarlet and Violet? If you kill the pink sheep in Scarlet and Violet, then you'll probably find another one 5 minutes later, so it's not like a big deal. It's at Victory Road, it's flying encounter, and unfortunately Fira and Skarmory appear more than Hydra. Dude, that's crazy. I never knew that. That's a crazy shiny hunt. I need to look at that. Victory Road. It's too bad you can't, like, repel trick them or anything. I knew you could get, like, Noibat, but I didn't know about Hydreigon. It's gotta be in, like, some wild room, right? Drops from the ceiling, so that's Noibat. Swoops. Oh, from the sky. Dude, Dude, even Bulbapedia doesn't know. It says approximately 5%. That's a tough hunt. That is crazy, though. Wild Hydreigon. I think the only other game you can get Wild Hydreigon in is Sword and Shield with Crown Tundra. I think there's a soft reset, like a strong spawn for Hydreigon in Sword and Shield in the Crown Tundra, and it might be a version exclusive. I'm not sure. Oh, in Minecraft? Oh, I thought you were talking about Shiny Mareep. No, you gotta take a picture of it, box it in, and make sure it can't leave, and then just have it there forever. Is there a way to get Zeraora nowadays? Not officially. You would have to use some sort of, like, cheating device, I think. It's your friendly neighborhood local. Very scary. You started your Leaf Green Rock Smash hunt, not as slow as you expected, like 40 an hour. 40 an hour is pretty slow, I will say. But you've been doing, like, full odds eggs, so I guess anything's probably faster than that. Ridiculous how often your hunts go over odds. Maybe your luck can turn around for Safari Week. I really hope so. Yeah, I literally right now we've 3 in a row over 10k. Like, I got 1 under odds, and the hunt before that was a 20k in a 1 in 4096 game. Like, we gotta get some luck here, man. How can you complete the living decks? You just gotta wait for them to do another Zeraora distribution, unfortunately. Or just see if there's someone who can trade you. But it's pretty hard for people to trade Zeraora because it's so rare. Zeraora's only ever had 2 distributions, at least for where I live. I don't know if there's been more for, like, Japan. You're going for Gen Quest on Hydreigon. You have Gen 7 and 8 for MM and 9 for Random Encounter. Wait, what's MM? RE's Random Encounter. What is MM? Just got a level repel Metapod. It was like 50 to 75 an hour. Oh, wow. Yeah, no, and apparently, so the way, like, Rock Smash works in Gen 3, if you use, like, it's very weird. It's like if you, first of all, repel tricks work for it, which is, like, so bizarre. Second of all, it's like White Flute works, but I think it's like if you use the bike, it slows you down. So it's, like, really weird. Oh, Masuda Method, duh. I don't think I've ever heard someone, like, shorten Masuda Method. That's just new for me. Now I have your shiny Mistdrifter Wooper named Salami. Nice. Mistdrifter is one of the cooler titles, I will say. I was trying to get a Ralts with it. Oh, I have a distortion. That's actually like getting close to starting. Alright, we'll do that when it starts. Remember the Shiny Zero Aura reward we got for in Sword and Shield for defeating it 1,000,000 times or something like that? Yeah, and the funny thing was, you didn't have to participate. As long as the goal was met, like, you didn't have to do... I didn't do a single Zero Aura raid. I was going to, and I just, like, forgot. You didn't have to participate. All you needed to do was once the reward was hit and it was like, all right, now here's the distribution date. All you had to do was, like, log into Pokemon Home on your phone, and then you would just get it. And the Zero Aura is, like, the shiny one is more common than the non-shiny. Doing Illuminate, White Flute, and Walking, and a level 50 Repel, yeah. Yeah, dude. Rock Smash is so weird. Pretty sure it does, but Shiny Charm affects soft resets. It depends on the Pokemon. It does. So, like, I'm guessing you're asking for the Strong Spawn Hydreigon. The Shiny Charm will affect that. But for, like, the Reggies, it doesn't affect the Reggies. It doesn't affect, like, the trees, the berry tree Pokemon. It doesn't affect the Curry Pokemon. It doesn't affect the Impidimp from the mushrooms in Glimwood. There's a lot it, like, doesn't affect, but they're kind of, like, very specific hunts, so... Any Strong Spawn, it does affect that. Wasn't Zacian and Zamazenta shiny through doing some battles and then claim after? No, that was the Galarian Birds. Zacian and Zamazenta were, like, just log in, or it might have been a GameStop code or something. The Galarian Birds, you had to, like, enter a tournament online. Alright. I really should turn off the volume for one of my systems, but it's too late now and I don't want to do it. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. I love when I can, like, walk on a surface and I'm trying to pick up an item and it's like, oh, you wanted Sneasler for the surface you can already just walk on? It's like, no. I didn't, actually. Why can't that one just be huge with red eyes? Why can't that one also just be huge with red eyes? There's gonna come a time where I genuinely do not even need to pick up these items. And I think that time has already passed. But it's like, it's just so hard to, like, not, like, pick up these items, you know? Look at this red shard, and there's something up here. Another red shard. There's something over here. Realistically, though, I probably should stop picking up the items. Not only is this slowing me down, but I genuinely do not need the items at all. Like, you guys saw last stream, I made 95 star pieces. And I don't need money. I don't need money or Pokeballs, because there's only going to be, like, a handful of things I would need to catch in this game at this point. But it is fun to kind of hoard all these items and then make just a ton of money for no reason. By that event, you didn't have Sword and Shield. I don't think you needed Sword and Shield. Unless you're talking about the Zacian and Zamazenta. The Zera Aura, I'm pretty sure you just needed home. You just needed, like, a free home account on your phone. I don't think you needed Sword and Shield. Obviously, you wouldn't need Sword and Shield to, like, use the Zera Aura, but... Time to delete the world and make a new one. Are you doing hardcore? Dude, hardcore Minecraft is so fun and devastating when you die. I have a pretty solid hardcore solo world on Minecraft. I haven't played it in a while, though. Oh, your shiny Wooper was full odds? Nice. That's awesome. I can't... My Mark challenge, I couldn't bring myself to do that full odds. But, you know, moving forward, when I, like, full odds hunt in Sword and Shield or Scarlet and Violet, it'll just be cool to get marks on the shinies. What's up, Endless Night? Welcome in. Someone's telling you they want Hisuian Megas, but you can't see how that would be possible. Yeah, they're not going to do Hisuian Megas. Feels right to pick them up, though, like a mini game, yeah. But I mean, like, at this point, I feel like I just need to be doing more Mew. You're doing a challenge. If you die in that world, you delete it and start a new world. That's just called playing hardcore Minecraft. Is that not what you're doing? Hardcore Minecraft, if you die, you can't play your world anymore, so you have to start a new one. Taylor, thank you for the shiny luck. You're in console? Didn't they just add hardcore to Bedrock version? Like, not too long ago? But if it's not, like, unless you're using, like, a, like, Xbox One version or something. You're playing hardcore, but without being able to play hardcore. Respect. Hardcore Minecraft's really fun, though. Although, I will say, I will say, for anyone who plays Java Minecraft, if you do hardcore mode and then die, it's very easy to just respawn yourself. You just, like, open LAN and then enable cheats and then do /game mode survival and then it just puts you back in. But that's not what's the fun of that. You gotta have the honor system. If you die in hardcore, you gotta accept it. PS4 version, yeah. I think it's like after PS4 and Xbox One, it's like that's Bedrock. Because my Xbox One, I think I have 3 versions of Minecraft on it. I have the Xbox 360 version, the Xbox One version, and then Bedrock version. Unless I don't, I might not have Bedrock, but I think I could. Actually, I think I have to pay for it if I think I have to pay for it if I were to get Bedrock, which is odd because I get Bedrock for free on, like, PC. But I play Java version. Java version is just better in almost every way. There are some ways where Java's worst. I don't get why they don't just have them be, like, the same. I understand, though, like, a lot of it is so that, like, I reconnected. Let's go. All right. Well, I disconnected. That is one plus about YouTube, is that when I disconnect and then reconnect without, like, actually shutting stream down, YouTube is, like, still intact. Twitch, it, like, is, like, weird. Because you have to, like, refresh. And then, yeah. Unless you have to click something else. I actually don't know how it works. But I would assume you just refresh, because I feel like if you had to, like, go into a new stream... Hopefully this isn't, like... It's not saying I have, like, bad keyframe intervals. I don't know why we disconnected. Could have just been a really random, like, internet quirk. We've been kind of lucky, and, like, it hasn't been happening as often lately, which is good. There was a time where it was, like, every stream we'd disconnect multiple times. You got full out shiny Wooper. Yeah, you were saying that. I was saying that like for my mark challenge, I couldn't bring myself to do it full odds. It'd be too ridiculous. But moving forward, once I'm done with it, I'm actually gonna go for the last 3 shinies full odds, like the last 3 marks, unless the Misty mark doesn't work out in Sword and Shield. And some of the mark Pokemon I do have are full odds too. But like I just couldn't bring myself to do all of them full odds. That'd be ridiculous. But moving forward, once I just do like shiny hunts full odds, like it'll be cool to get them shiny. What time is it? It's 1. We'll see if we can do like 3 hours of stream today. That might be pretty good. I'm gonna try to stream every day this week. I gotta get these hunts done, man. Especially this hunt. But this one I'm kind of worried about. I think for sure I'm gonna be able to get Dratini done. Because like, what's today? Tuesday? I plan like no matter what I got going on, I plan to do at least 1,500 Dratini a day. I'm trying to do 2,000 a day. But, what's today? Tuesday? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's like another, like, 12,000 I can do before I start actually doing Safari Week. I will say, this does feel kind of better doing the Mew without the Bidoof. But once Safari, if we don't have Mew before Safari Week, once Safari Week's over, I'm going to, I really hope I do, because I actually want to use one of these emeralds for Safari Week. I don't want to, like, you know, I don't want to use my luck on not Mew. I guess I could set up one of my Japanese games instead, but I don't know, man. I want to do that Psyduck hunt. And I need 5 games. One of which has to be either an Emerald or a Japanese Ruby Sapphire. And I would prefer not the Japanese, because I have a nickname that I want to give it. And I don't think it would fit in Japanese. I gotta double check, though. Oh, wait. We go here. Kanto Shiny Living Dex. Where's Psyduck? Where is the duck of Psy? Funny enough, I actually already have the full Psyduck line shiny full odds, but one of them I didn't get live, so. Same with Slowpoke as well. Am I blind? Yeah, I am. Okay, yeah. What should you name your Wooper? So the full odds. Wait, so the full odds one was different from the marked one. Did you use like a sandwich for the marked one, and then you're doing a full odds one? Because you said you named the other. What was the other one? Would you say you named the other one? I'm missing that. Where is that? Oh, Salami. Okay, you named the other one Salami. Uh, just name it like Whopper or something. I'm pretty bad at nicknames on the spot, unless it's something I've like really thought would be like perfect for the Pokemon, like ahead of time. Mew. I also got the little Mew plush right here too. What if I just hunted like this and then I was just like, dude, shiny? That'd be crazy. What's up, Rob and Bob? Welcome in. I need to check something really quick. So let me get this encounter, and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Am I hunting on Emerald? Yes, this is Pokemon Emerald. It's the only way. You can't get Mew in Ruby Sapphire. I need to interact with my buddy in Pokemon Go. Because it's one of those days. There is an orange flowered Flabébé here. I actually got a shiny one on my alt account, which was kind of crazy. Alright, I need to interact with this Mewtwo, because he's like really close to getting excited. I've been working towards getting, this is my alt account, I've been working towards getting 10 best buddies on it, so I can get that shiny Jirachi, in case, like, I can't get to hunting Jirachi in time. Before Bank shuts down. I have, like, a backup. And let me tell you, It's really freaking hard to try to get 10 best buddies on an alt account. It is just, you really got to go out of your way for it. It has been a process and a half. But I got it excited, so I can get some more hearts with it. After my game crashes, like it does all the time. Freaking Pokemon Go nowadays crashes so often. It's honestly unacceptable how often it crashes. And it's not even like the device is bad. It's like if you just do basic things in Pokemon Go after a bit, it'll just crash the game. It's like research tasks, rockets, body interactions. They just have like a really high chance of crashing your game nowadays. Wow, Mewtwo, when you're like playing with Mewtwo, it really doesn't look like it. You can't get into Pokemon Go without it crashing. If you can't get into it without it crashing, that might be like your device. The game loads just fine, but it's just like doing basic things makes the game crash like pretty often. Like if you go out and grind for like an hour or two, your game's gonna crash minimum 3-4 times. Like in that time frame. You're hunting Celebi right now? Good luck. Yeah, Celebi's a cool one. That's definitely one I want to get to relatively soon. I've just been having really bad luck with all my hunts. So, like, when I have, like, a plan of, like, what I'm gonna do shiny hunting-wise, I'm always, like... I'm like, alright, I'll get this shiny, then I'll get this shiny, then I'll get this shiny, and it'll be cool. But then it's like, one of these shinies takes, like, 5 times the amount of time I think it's gonna take, and then it's like, alright, well... I say I'm gonna get to these, but other things might come up at this point. You haven't been on it in about a month, but you still can't get in. Yeah, that might be like your device. I need to see something here. I feel like the focus on these games is a bit too much. Let me see if I can fix this. That's blurry. That's like okay. Sometimes when you're like focusing on these Game Boys. Oh yeah, that looks actually pretty good. Sometimes like when you're too in focus, it like makes it look weird. You get like that rainbow effect. When we get the Gen 8 Pokeball living Pokeball living decks. Guys, you gotta stop asking when it's gonna happen. It happens when it happens. Asking me isn't gonna make it go faster. I have to play through both my Sword and Shield copies. I have to play through Legends 2 times. It's gonna be a while, guys. I'm stuck getting really bad luck with shiny hunts. Safari Week's coming up. Like, I can't put all my eggs in one basket. If I put all my eggs in one basket, I would have had the Living Dex challenge done, like, a very long time ago. But it's just not something I can do. I got lots of projects going on. And I would get severely burnt out if I did that. Does Dave feel it? I really hope so. So soon? Yeah, soon. No, so here's the thing. Once I get this shiny Mew, I'll give a little context as to, like, what I'm thinking of, like, how it's gonna, like, go down. I actually just explained this, but once I get this shiny Mew, my next on-stream hunt is gonna be Milcery. The issue is, I have to beat Sword and Shield in order to have Foggy Weather, in order to effectively hunt Milcery. So, when I play through Sword and Shield to get the Foggy Weather, that will be roughly, once that's complete, that will roughly be the time when I, like, do the Pokeball challenge. But who knows how long that's gonna take. This Mew could take 30k. Like, we don't know. Like, when people ask, like, when the Pokeball challenge is coming, I never can give them an answer. The answer is when I'm, like, currently uploading the video. I have no idea how long it's going to take to do any of these. And guys, like, cherish the moment, because there's only one generation after Gen 8, and I won't be doing a Pokeball only challenge anymore, so if you guys are, like, super into it, don't try to rush it. Savor it. Because once it's done, it's done. Have to wait until Gen 10 comes out before I make another one. Or Legends ZA. I'm not making a video for Legends ZA. They're going to add 5 new Pokemon, and that's going to be it. I don't know if you've played Legends Arceus, but I think if you include all of the Hisuian forms, and first of all, there's only like 8 new Pokemon. Then there's like, I think, 15 forms, and that's including like basic and evolution. I'm not making a full video of me just catching the like 20 new Pokemon that are in Legends ZA. That's just not gonna happen. I might record myself catching them, but then wait until Gen 10 before, like, and then throw it into Gen 10. But I'm not gonna, it'd be like a 5-minute video of, like, essentially nothing. I definitely won't do it in Gen 9. We're definitely gonna get to Gen 9 before ZA comes out. ZA is coming out next year. It's gonna take me, like, it's only June of this year. There's only a few months between generations that I do. I would have to wait like more than half a year to do Gen 9, which I'm not planning on doing. So yeah, the Legends ZA just kind of like throw a wrench in like the whole thing, but I don't know. We'll figure it out. Might just not include it at all and just be like, all right, well, I didn't want to make a video on this, so I just caught these on my own time. Like, it could just come down to that. Dude, we gotta get a shiny Mew. I am not gonna be the one who goes the farthest for shiny Mew. It's not happening. How many days are you hunting this? Are you asking how many days I've been hunting this, or how many days I plan to hunt this? Because either or, I don't think I can give you an answer for. I don't, like, time my hunts. I started this hunt in January, but it's been, like, an on and off thing. In terms of how many days I'll be hunting this, I will be hunting it most likely every day this week, and then once Safari Week starts, well, not once Safari Week starts, I'm actually doing Safari Week early. We'll take a break. And then we'll get back to it once I'm done Safari Zone hunting. But I mean, it just, whenever the shiny shows up is how long we'll be hunting it for. Inspired you to do basically the same challenge except for Gen 1 and 2 because you're using Fire Leaf and Heart Crystal Silver. It's going great for now. Nice, good luck. What's up, Robinson? You will get this today? I really hope so. It's hard. I want to be optimistic in the sense of like, oh, I'll probably get it this week, hopefully. But I mean, like, realistically, we only do like 400 or 500 encounters in a stream, so it's like pretty unlikely we get it any given day. But we are pretty far in, so who knows? What are the odds? 1 in 8192. Huh? Are you confused by the odds? 1 in 8,192. Every time I encounter a Mew, it's got a 1 out of 8,192 chance to be shiny. It's just full odds. It's just a full odd shiny. There's no methods in Gen 3. That's just what the shiny rate is. So yeah, we're almost double odds for it. Firemons have 2 HP. It's the strategy to catch Mew without it ever having a chance to killing itself. Yeah, we're just really unlucky. That's why we're like almost 15k. So with Mew, it gets Metronome. And it's like you could do as much as possible to try to prepare, and there's always a chance you fail it if it like, because like Metronome randomly rolls any move. So like you could bring a Pokemon with the ability Damp in case it rolls like a self-destruct or something. And but if it rolls a Roar instead, you'll still fail it, you know? Like there's only so much you can do. But this method guarantees the capture. So what you do first is you have a Pokemon that's burned and at low enough HP so that the burn will kill it. So we have this move. It's in Spanish, but this move is Taunt. We use Taunt turn 1. That makes it so that, because apparently Metronome's status, it doesn't count as an attacking move. So Taunt makes it so that it can't use Metronome or Transform turn 1. It has to use either Pound or Mega Punch. Then turn 2, you swap into a Smeargle that has Imprison, Metronome, Mega Punch, and Pound. So if you use Imprison on Smeargle, it will be forced to use Transform on its third turn. And then we swap into this Wurmple, which has Pokérust, which is kind of funny. But it only wait, actually. Can you get Pokérust from Mew? My Swallow has Pokérust, too. I've been soft resetting, though, so maybe they've had it for a while. You had to have gotten Pokérust from Mew, right? Huh. I guess I got Pokérust from Mew, which is crazy. Cool. Only a 1 in 21,000 chance. That's neat. Anyway. So by turn 3, Mew is forced to use Transform. We will swap into this Wurmple that only has Tackle and String Shot. So Mew will not be able to kill itself, and it'll have the highest catch rate, because in Gen 3, Transform copies the catch rate of whatever it transforms into. And then we'll just be able to False Swipe it, put it to sleep, and catch it in like one ball, essentially. So it'll be like a guaranteed catch if we do it. That's the strategy. And the reason we're burned is because if Mew can't attack us, we'll still die to burn. The idea is to have your Pokemon die like immediately. So that's neat. I got Pokérust from Mew trying to find the shiny. That's such a slap in the face, man. I've gotten Pokérust like twice on this emerald. Or actually, this is a different emerald. I got Pokérust on this emerald. So I've gotten Pokérust on these 2 emeralds. I've also gotten Pokérust on my Ruby copy twice. So that's neat. Good thing I couldn't get... Good thing Pokerus is nearly 3 times the odds of a shiny, and I just wanted the shiny. The Bidoof hunt has been temporarily dropped until after Safari Week. Or until I get the Mew, I guess. I just want to, like, focus more into it. Into Mew. And the Bidoof kind of slows me down a little bit. Will you catch him in a Pokeball, like matching one, or just Ultra Ball? I'm going to use a Dive Ball. With this strategy that I'm doing, it's going to be like a guaranteed catch with any Pokeball. So I'm just picking Dive Ball because it'll look good on the shiny Mew. Alright, but I got to do this distortion. So swap to this. Swap to this. And let's do a distortion. Have I tested the strategy? Yeah, I've tested it a few times. Have not failed with it yet. I intentionally made the moves that I need to use the first move so I don't, like, mess that up or anything. Okay, I'm not picking up items anymore, by the way. We're done looking for items and distortions. Alpha Leafeon, cool. I would have much preferred the Sneasel, but that's fine. Alright. See, that's the thing. If we don't pick up the items, these distortions go by so much faster, and then it's like, we can just crank through the Mew more. We'll have more chances at the Alpha Sneasels. It's just going to be a win-win for everyone. Yeah, Dive Ball Shiny Mew is cool. The only thing about the Dive Ball is that literally everyone and their mother catches Shiny Mew in a Dive Ball, so it's not like the most unique thing. But I mean, it's still the coolest, so. Getting Pokerus before the Mew, yeah, it's terrible. And funny, here's the thing. I have not done anything other than shiny hunt this Mew. So I have gotten... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I might have to reset here. I don't. Okay, cool. Hopefully I can run. Cool. If that thing killed my Wurmple, I would have had to reset. But yeah, that means I got Pokerus from Mew, by the way. Which is like the worst thing that could have happened. Because I just want the shiny one, which is almost 3 times as likely to happen. So that's kind of a slap in the face. Do you get the Nurse Joy Pokerus text if you get it a second time? No. It's only the first time, and it also only it happens if any Pokemon you have in your party has Pokerus, and that includes Pokemon that have like cured Pokerus that you like receive from trades. So like I have this one Smeargle, and it's no secret this Smeargle that I use is duplicated. This Smeargle that I have is duplicated, and you see that little dot by the Master Ball? That means it's got cured Pokerus. Anytime I trade the Smeargle to a save file, and heal it, that's when I'll get the text that tells me I got Pokerus. And it always freaks me out, and then I'm like, oh wait, it's the Smeargle I got. Gotta go, good luck. Well, thank you. What's up, Shiny Sorlo? Welcome in. If you get a Shiny Mew on 1 SP, will you go for a second one on the other? No. You're asking me to do this hunt again, but half as quick? Yeah, I'm gonna pass. I might reset for like a unique nature Mew for Synchronize. Or just to like use in later games for shiny hunting. Mew's a pretty good Pokemon for shiny hunting because it can learn any move, or it can learn any TM. I was recently using a Mew in my Fire Red to level up Pokemon for my Gen 3 living decks. Be cool to do it with the shiny one. Whoops. Will you ever post your reactions to all the personality marks you got in every mark on a shiny Pokemon video? So I have the 2 parts already on my channel. And once I'm done with part 3, I'll post part 3. I might make a compilation of every single one. But some of them I don't have reactions for. Like, I didn't get a reaction for the alpha mark, because it was just a Switch recording. But I might post, like, a mega compilation that gets rid of all of the, like, explanation. It's just straight up, like, getting every mark on shinies. But I don't know. We'll see. Pokerest is such a weird phenomenon. If you are Pokemon and Sun save file have cure version, you remember your Necrozma has it. But every other game, you haven't had any Pokemon contracted. I don't know why I read that as contact. Yeah, it's a 1 in 21,000 chance. And, like, gift Pokemon can't get it. So it's got to be, like, wild Pokemon. I can't believe I got a freaking Mew with Pokerust before a shiny Mew. That's so annoying. I always get Pokerust before something I'm targeting, bro. There's Torkoal. I got it 3 times during my Torkoal hunt, by the way. But yeah, it's like, it's a 1 in 21,000 chance, and even in, like, the later game, which is nearly triple the odds of a shiny, and then in the later games where they change the shiny odds to 1 in 4096, it's still like a 1 in 21,000 chance. So it's like 6 times the odds of a shiny in the later games. It's just really rare. Like, you could go so many playthroughs without finding it. It's super rare. Surprised there wasn't a charm for it. Well, they got rid of it in Scarlet and Violet because there's no reason, there's no way to, like, it's kind of an obsolete mechanic. I hate to say it. It's kind of an obsolete mechanic in an overworld Pokemon game because in order to, like, be able to contract it on your Pokemon, you have to get into an encounter with a wild Pokemon. In overworld Pokemon games, you don't get into encounters with Pokemon that often, so you would just never find it. And on top of that, the idea is it's supposed to be absurdly rare, so if you're lucky enough to find it, you can just spread it to every other Pokemon you have. So, like, I have Pokemon in my PCs on, like, Gen 3, 4, 5, 6 games that have Pokerust. And if I ever want to just spread it to every Pokemon I want, I can, because I got it one time. So, like, that's kind of the idea, is, like, it's so absurdly rare, but once you get it, you can get it for every single one of your Pokemon. If you know what you're doing. Because obviously if you just have, like, there was one time I got Pokerust on a playthrough of Platinum, but didn't realize it until I looked at my party and I saw all my team members had Pokerust that had been cured. So, like, unless you're like that and you just never check your party. I am curious, though. Did I get Pokerust in this session? I'm pretty sure if I reset my game and I don't have Pokerust on Swallow or Wurmple, that means I got Pokerust in this session. Let me take a picture of it, because I'm probably going to tweet this out. There we go. Take a picture of that. Because if I reset my game and I don't have it anymore, that means I got it this session. You get a shiny Mew. Oh, I already read that. Yeah, no, we will not be shiny hunting Mew twice. The only time I would probably shiny hunt Mew a second time would be if I want to do it in Gen 1. Baffles you to think that someone back in the day played this game for the first time and encountered shiny Mew first encounter itself. I mean, there's a good chance they didn't. It's a pretty limited distribution. It was like Japan only, and it was like, you know, there was only so many people in Japan that were able to get it. Wouldn't be surprised if none of them got the shiny Mew for sure. But what is crazy to think is, like, before they started shiny locking, like, starters and legendaries, like, how many people picked up, like, a copy of a Pokemon game and just, like, first encounter shiny legendary, or like, their first starter was shiny. And that happens to, like, a lot of people. What happens if you transfer a Pokemon with Pokerus to Scarlet and Violet? They don't want the possibility of getting rid. It'll keep it, I'm pretty sure, but I don't think it spreads. Like, I think the way it works, because Pokemon data is stored in home. Like, when you send a Pokemon into home, it gets, like, this, like, data to it that's tied to home. That kind of saves this data. That's why you're able to, like, catch a Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet, give it, like, let's say you give it the Paldean Champion ribbon. You send it into Sword and Shield through home, and it won't have that Paldean ribbon anymore, but as soon as you put it back into home, it'll still have that ribbon. Because obviously the Paldean ribbon doesn't exist in Sword and Shield. It's like that. I would assume. I've never tried it, but I would assume it's like that, where you send a Pokemon with Pokerus in Scarlet and Violet, and it just won't have Pokerus in Scarlet and Violet, but when you take it out, it'll still have it. When you put it into any other game where Pokerus exists, you'll still have it. I mean, if 8,192 people have gotten the event, someone must have gotten first time. Not exactly, because that would mean I would have for sure gotten it at 8192. The thing is, there's a solid chance that there wasn't 8,192 people that got the original authentic Mew event. That's a very solid possibility. It was pretty limited. Some of those old events were very limited. Like, the Celebi event in Crystal, before they put it on Virtual Console, was, like, even worse, I'm pretty sure. It was, like, Japan only, and you had to have, like, a specific device that, like, most people didn't even have. So only, like, maybe, like, a couple hundred got it. A chance is a chance. Yeah, but if you have 8,192 people, you're far from guaranteed to get it for one of them getting a shiny first try. Within, like, 2 tries, yeah, you'll have a pretty solid chance, but I mean, it's never guaranteed. There's a chance that even 1 million people won't get this. That's also extremely unlikely. If you had 1 million chances at a 1 in 8192 chance, you're for sure getting multiple shinies. If you send it with active Pokerus into Scarlet and Violet, and then send it back, will Pokerus still be active or will it be cured? It should still be active, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure. I wouldn't know. I guess what I would do is, if you have a Pokemon with Pokerus, spread it to a different Pokemon, so you can have 2 of them with active Pokerus, and then try it with one of the Pokemon, just to check. I'm going to do one more encounter, and I'm going to soft reset my game. I'm really curious to see if I'll still have Pokerus. I should double check to make sure no one on this team got it. Cured. Okay, no, because this Wurmple doesn't have it. Your team got Pokerus for the first time in Platinum, but a few days after you found your first ever shiny. Nice. Maybe that's a sign. Maybe I'll get a shiny soon, because I got Pokerus. Alright, I'm going to reset this game. And we're going to see if I got Pokerus. If my Wurmple and Swallow don't have Pokerus, that means I got it this hunting session from this Mew. No, it already had it, so it was some other time, but I mean, I'm trying to think, what have I done? What I don't think I've done anything on the save file since hunting Mew. So I'm pretty sure it had to have come from Mew. But we still have it, so we at least keep it, even though I don't need it at all. Alright, we're gonna do another distortion. That was only 15 minutes from the last distortion. That's pretty quick. That's not what I wanted. Oh, giant Kingra. Alright, distortion time. We're just gonna keep doing the check the 3 Sneasels and then leave. No more items. Not going for items anymore. I'll pick up that one because it's here. And there we go. It's really just gonna make it so much faster to, like, go through these. Taylor, thank you for the shiny luck. I was supposed to sleep for longer than that. You love how Mew cries Mew? Is that what it says at the beginning? Is it the same across different languages? I don't know if it's different in Spanish. But all the Pokemon's names in Spanish are the same as English, so... As far as I'm aware, I don't think I've seen a Pokemon's name in the Spanish copy be different. Dude, shiny Mew would just be so unreal at this point. Whoa, what the heck? I didn't hit the grass that time? Sometimes I think my Elgato's delayed, but I think it's just the delay between the camera and the Elgato. And it just throws me off. Like, usually when it's actually delayed, it's a lot more noticeable. Dude, it's not gonna feel real when I get shiny Mew. Who was it in chat that said, didn't someone in chat say they want like 18,000 for Shiny Mew? Trying to figure out like what the farthest someone's gone for Shiny Mew. Thing is, I'm gonna search Shiny Mew and it's just gonna be all my tweets of like, this person got it at 6,000. This person at 14,000. Which is what I'm at. You know, maybe I'll get it. There's someone that I saw from Japan who got like it in 17,000. Trying to finally complete the run in Celebi so you can try to shiny hunt. Or sorry, in Crystal, so you can try to shiny hunt Celebi. You can't even dual hunt it, so it should be fun. You got this. It will be pretty slow though, but just have it be something. I'm guessing you don't like record your hunts, do you? You just kind of do it on your own time. When you do that, like, you just make it like a chill thing when you're like doing something else. And eventually you'll realize you like flew by them. How did I get the old C map? Was it with the Pomeg glitch? You think about doing this on 2 later this month? Yeah, it was with the Pomeg glitch. That is how I got it on these games. There's so many different ways to get it, though. You can use, like, a cheating device. You can use, like, an R4 to inject the event. You can... I don't know. I doubt there's actual distribution cartridges for it. But, yeah. I use the Pomeg glitch. Imagine if Dom gets a record for the longest shiny Mew hunt. I'm good. Because I wouldn't be surprised if the longest was like 30k or something. I don't need to do that. Dude, I'm seeing someone... Dude, I look up shiny Mew and I get this tweet of like someone with this shiny Mew card at a PSA 10. And it makes me really want to grade that Mew card. I don't know if it'll get a 10. It'd be close. It would be a very high 9. But there is a little bit of like whitening in this corner. But it would be so cool to get that in a 10. That's like literally the only flaw. It's got like perfect centering. And the other edges and corners look amazing. Which maybe it could get a 10. I've had worse get 10s. Couple of those Dragonite cards I got graded, they came back 10s and I was shocked. Not that one. That one I knew was going to get a 10. These two. These two got 10s, and I was so shocked because, like, they're not, like, perfectly centered. Like, you can tell this one's got, like, a little thinner on the left side. And there's, like, little bits of white. Actually, there's... you know, maybe these did make sense to get a 10, and I'm just crazy. But these are in worse condition than that. So if that one doesn't get a 10 at this point, I'll be pretty devastated. I do want to grade these two Mew cards. I actually, funny enough, I pulled... The reason why I'm doing this Mew hunt, for those who don't know, I'm making a video on, like, if I pull the card, I find the shiny. It was something I think I saw Absolblogs, like, mention he might do at some point, like shiny hunt, something he pulls from, like, a pack of cards. And then I saw Quick Panic do it, and I just thought it was, like, a good idea. So I wanted to do it, and my idea was, like, oh, I'll just open from, like, 151. And, maybe I'll get, like, a full art Arbok or something, and then have to shiny hunt Arbok. Like, that'd be cool. And I ended up pulling... I'll wait for this encounter to go by. I ended up pulling this. So, and it's funny too, because I have every version of this Mew now. And I also have the metal one. I have the metal one from the Ultra Premium Collection. It's just not here. But, like, I have all these, and then I got the shiny ones. They're all the same, like, Mew. 180 HP, restart, genome hacking. This was also from the 151 Ultra Premium. So it'd be cool to grade, like, the whole set of these Mews. Because it's literally every single one. But yeah, I pulled this card, and I was like... Because the idea was like, okay, whatever the best card I pull from this Elite Trainer box will be the card the Pokemon I shiny on. And I ended up getting the Secret Rare Mew. So that's why I'm shiny hunting Mew. I wanted to do it anyway. But the sad reality is that when I recorded that intro... 151 was the newest set. I think there was, like, another set coming out soon. But 151 was the newest set. And that was back in October. Like, I pulled that and was like, alright, I'm gonna hunt Mew in a couple months. And now here we are. Getting close to almost a year later. No recording for you, but you post some of your success on Reddit. Yeah, so you can just, like, chill, like, whenever you're doing something else. That's the one thing about recording shiny hunts. Like, on one hand... If you're multi-hunting, I can't really imagine a way to, like, be, like, in a more comfortable position with multiple systems like this. But when you're doing, like, single hunting, you can just be, like, doing whatever while you're, like, doing resets. It's super chill. 151, best set ever. I don't know about the best set ever, but it was a pretty good set. I really liked the Celebration set. That was a really fun one. And I want to say, like, one of my favorite sets of all time is Shining Legends. I went so hard for that, and just them bringing back Shining Pokemon was, like, so cool. I pulled almost every card from Shining Legends. The only cards I didn't pull were, like, a couple of the Rainbow Rares, I'm pretty sure. And it was back... The Sun and Moon era of sets were back when they had, like, Secret Rares and Hyper Rares and stuff, but there weren't, like, 10 of them in a set. There was, like, 5, you know? Like, I pulled, like, the Rainbow Raichu and the Secret Rare Mewtwo in the test tube. They call it test tube Mewtwo, but he's in, like, the cloning tank. I pulled those, and then I think I pulled another Rainbow Rare from that set, and I think there was only, like, 2 Rainbow Rares left from that set that I hadn't pulled, and I pulled, like, every other card from that set. How goes the hunt? We're still trucking along. I found Pokerust during it at some point. You just got 2 Rampardo spawns, and neither were alpha. You're so sad. Yeah, man, I found a bunch of these Sneasels, and they haven't been alpha yet. Happens. No, but I found Pokerust from Mew, which was kind of a slap in the face. Because the shiny would have been a lot easier to get than Pokerust. Should have been a lot easier to get than Pokerust. They ever do a 100 set for Johto? Oh, you wonder if they'll ever do a 100 set for Johto. I don't know. I think the only reason they did 151 was because they finally have the rights to Kadabra again. Not the rights. They always had the rights to Kadabra, but they just, like, legally couldn't print it in the TCG or use it in the anime because of the lawsuit. So that was, like, their first time, like, hey, we can make a full set of the original Pokemon again. Hypnotic, I don't know if I thanked you for the shiny luck yet, but thank you for the shiny luck. Really want to use this rock strat on a shiny soon. Your luck is kind of trash. No shinies in way over a year. This rock... What's the rock strat? I don't know what the rock strat is. The only rock strat I know is in Safari Zone when people just like troll saying they're gonna throw a rock at their shiny instead of like a ball or bait. Which, if I'm not mistaken, doesn't throwing a rock at a Pokemon in the Kanto Safari Zone double its catch rate? Because if that's the case, it's honestly probably worth chucking rocks at Nidorans, because if they don't flee turn 1, they're guaranteed catch, I would assume. Oh, so that is what it is. You were talking about Legends, so I didn't know if there was like some like rock strat thing that I never heard of in Legends. Because you're talking about Alpha Rampardos. No, it was Hudon. Oh my gosh, you guys have both red text in your names? And you both start with H. That's so funny. Most mons besides rares are almost guaranteed. No, that's not true. Because if it doubles the catch rate, then the only ones that would be guaranteed are the ones that have like a 50% per ball. Everything else would be like an 80% or lower. Which is still like really likely to catch in one ball, but like far from guaranteed. Like, it would make, like, Execute and Rhyhorn, like, a 40%, which is, like, just the same as a Doduo. Maybe if I get a Nidoran male this year, I'll throw a rock at it. Is that what it does, though? Let me see. If it actually does... It'd be very risky to do it on a Nidoran female, for me. So it tells you the baited... Oh, that's fleet rates. Bait strat. Does it tell you what rocks do? That's bait strat. Catch rates. Okay, let's see. A Pokemon will be angry or eating whenever Beta Rock's thrown. If Bait's thrown, Pokemon eating for 1 to 5 turns during the Rock's thrown will be angry. Catch factor is double. That's not the catch rate, that's the catch factor. I don't know if that's different. Catch factor. So, like, if a Nidoran got a... So, Nidoran... Oh, that's Nidorina. Nidoran's catch factor is 18. I don't know what that translates to catch rate, though. Like, I don't know if doubling the catch factor would actually double the catch rate. It probably doesn't. It's probably a way to actually make it so you can't just guarantee catches. I would assume. Not sure. And I hate to make fun of you here, but there is a big text on my layout that does say when Safari Week is. Mostly do it for fun, but it works well enough. When I wasn't shiny hunting, this was like a really long time ago, like years ago, I was just trying to catch Chansey for my Fire Red. And I was getting so frustrated because I didn't know, this was before I knew about bait strat or anything. But I threw a rock at Chansey and caught it first ball, and I was like, wait, are rocks actually broken? I was like, what's this about a Safari Week? Safari Week's an annual event where everyone hunts in the Safari Zone. You apologize? No, you have to apologize. I just think it's funny. We've had a lot of people ask about it, so I just put it on the layout to like help people out. But now it's just funny when people ask because it's just like in big yellow text on the layout. It's... Most Nidoran text captures are around 80% to 90% successful. At that point, I don't think it's worth it. I could do it for fun for like a male one because I've caught every single Nidoran male and I've seen 5 of them. So it's like, you know, it would be goofy. I don't know if I would do it with a female one because I think it doubles its flee rate. So like it's like a 15% flee rate. So a 30% flee rate for a Nidoran. Like I've been trying so hard to get the Nidoran females. It'd be devastating if I failed one just because I threw a rock at it. Which game or games? It's any game with a Safari Zone game. And I say Safari Zone game because that's the game where you go into a Safari Zone and you get Safari Balls to use, and the Pokemon have a chance to flee. So, like, Kanto Safari Zone in Fire Red Leaf Green, Johto Safari Zone in Heart Gold Soul Silver, Hoenn Safari Zone in Ruby Sapphire Emerald, the Great Marsh in Sinnoh in Diamond Pearl Platinum, Brilliant Diamond, and Shining Pearl. No Safari Zone in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, and no Friend Safari. Can the Safari Week mention be found on Sarah? No, it's not an official event. It's just hosted by Absolblog's Pokemon. It's just a really popular thing nowadays. You've never had one flee? See, that's the thing. I've never had a Nidoran flee, and I'm like due for one at this point. So I know if I find like a female one, I'm gonna fail it. It sucks because I've been so. I've only ever found one Nidoran female in the Safari Zone. I don't even know how many shinies I found in the Safari Zone, but only one of them has been Nidoran female, and it was not even on Leaf Green. It was the 5% in Fire Red. Think the Nido flee rate is so low, rock doesn't hurt much. No, it will. It's like a 15%. The lowest flee rate is like 15%. So if you double the flee rate, 30% is kind of a big deal. Sorry, the lowest flee rate is 10%, and that's for Magikarp only. But everything else is like 15% is for like Goldeen, Doduo, Slowpoke, Psyduck, Poliwag, Venonat, Paris, Nidorans. That's 15%. So if you double that, yeah, Angered flee rate, 30%. So yeah, it doubles the flee. Oh, actually, rock does nothing for Magikarp, apparently. Apparently, if you throw a rock at Magikarp, it's still only a 10% flee rate. That's funny. But yeah, everything else is doubling from what I'm seeing. So yeah, it wouldn't really be worth it. It'd be funny to do it with a Nidoran male, but like, I don't think I'd risk it with a female. Because a Nidoran, realistically, like, you're going to catch it within 2 balls on average. And it's going to take on average of 7 turns for it to flee. And the Safari... Oh, I already read that. You actually feel like it's probably easier to flee with bait since it's more turns? Honestly, it probably is. It's probably worse to use bait. Actually, I think it would be guaranteed to be worse to use bait on a Nidoran than a rock. Because you also got to keep in mind that, like, you throw a rock turn 1, the flee rate is... The flee chance is already pre-rolled. It's only for the next turn that you're going to be throwing a ball with a much higher catch rate anyway. Like, you throw a rock turn 1, it's still going to be a 15% chance to flee. It's only the next turn it'll be 30%. So a lot of times, like, you probably could easily get away with throwing rocks. Bait is probably just in every way worse to use on a Nidoran than just balls or rocks. You've only ever had one Pokemon flee in Let's Go? I've had a couple flee in Let's Go, but they weren't, like, a big deal. The worst one that I failed in Let's Go was a Magikarp, because I was hunting for, like, the Nidorans, and there was a Magikarp that spawned, like, pretty far below in the water, and I didn't notice it, and as soon as I noticed it, it just immediately despawned. But the ones that I've had, like, run away from me are, like, it was, like, a duplicate Fearow, a duplicate Charizard, a duplicate Spearow or something. I've never had anything, like, important flee from Let's Go. Butterfree's kind of a crazy one. You think it might be a flee factor over flee rate? Well, it's saying, like, Magikarp's flee factor is set to 2, but I guess that still means 10% flee rate. So its flee factor must just not get high enough to actually raise its flee rate for Magikarp, but the other ones do. You've never had a Nitto flea turn one with a rock? Yeah, because it's the same flea rate if you threw a bait or a ball at it. It's always gonna be 15%. It's the flea chance is already like determined when you hit A in the encounter to bring up the menu for ball. So like it's already preset. So unless you get really unlucky and it flees, you hit that 15% first turn, you're most likely gonna catch it if you throw a rock at an Nidoran. You had a shiny Dratini flea on you, that was fun. In Let's Go. In Let's Go, that sucks. I want to try to, I might do a full odds Dratini for Let's Go, just so I don't have to breed for it again. Because I'm going to have to breed for Dratini in Gen 6. But Gen 7, I can use Let's Go, which might be interesting. To do like a full odds Dratini hunt. So you can just run away, no need to reset the game, just running away, roll a different ring. Are we talking about the Mew hunt? So the way shiny RNG works in Gen 3 games is like when you load your game up, you get a random seed which like determines your shiny frames. And then you have to like try to hit your shiny frames. With Emerald, the RNG is broken, so the seed is always set to 0. So every time you load the game up, it like gives you the same preset shiny frames, which if you're doing runaways or random encounters or whatnot, you're totally fine. Like you're not gonna just hit the same. It's very hard, extremely unlikely, especially with how inconsistent this Mew hunt is, because like a lot of times like you mess up the path, sometimes you're just not exactly frame perfect every time. You're not gonna hit the same 1/60th of a second multiple times. But another workaround, which I'm doing, is you can save in front of one of the paintings in the Lily Cove contest hall. And when you interact with the painting, it'll randomly it'll re-roll your seed to give you like true random frames every time. So that's what I'm doing. But yeah, you can't really do reset hunts in Emerald unless you like really know what you're doing. And even then, it's still like extremely tedious and probably not worth doing. But yeah, you should always be fine to do runaways and random encounters in Emerald. As long as you're hunting for like more than 30 minutes at a time, you're fine. I think the 4 you've had high success rate was the Nidorans, Rhyhorn, Venonat, Execute the duo. I've had pretty bad luck with Execute. I have very good luck with Rhyhorn though. I'm 3 for 3 on catching Rhyhorns that I've found. Execute, I have seen 4 and only caught my first one. Doduo, I've seen 1 and caught 1, so that one's pretty good right now, but we're going to try to get a couple more Doduos this year. Chances between 1/6 and 1/3, 1 and 3 catch, rest, fail. Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you do bait shred on Chansey, you have like a 1 in 3 chance to actually successfully catch it. Something you learned about the paintings that doesn't actually give you a random seed right to your current frame as the initial seed. Obviously, you won't hit the same frame when interacting with... Oh, so that's how it works? But that's essentially... That's still, like, random, though, because that's how it works in... That's what I found out. We were talking about it on stream a few streams ago. That's how just the RNG works for like Fire Red Leaf Green, Ruby Sapphire with working batteries, is that it's like the seed is determined based on what frame you like boot your game, like what frame you like boot your game up from the title screen. So it's like depends on how long you're on the title screen, I'm pretty sure, or how long you're on like the main menu, like the menu screen. So it's like the same thing. It's like based on like that frame. So yeah, it's like the same thing at that point. Now you think about it, Rock could be good end of bait strat. Basically, once you're gone X amount of turns, do a Hail Mary with a rock. I think that is true. I think last year, Professor Rex updated the bait strat to include like a rock at the end of Chansey. I could check. I have it like bookmarked. The bait strat. This Chansey. A Chansey baited. Yeah, so if you have last turn, if you have 1 ball left, you throw a rock. on Chansey. Same with Dratini. I guess that's like all of them, except this one I think is Seeking. Seeking, it's if you have 2 balls left, you throw a rock. Same with Venonat and Parasect. So yeah, rock is optimal like at the very end. But I mean, good luck getting to that point, you know, it's very unlikely you would get that far. 2022, my Safari week, and I have a video. It's one of my it's a long video, and I apologize for how long it is. But like I encourage anyone to like watch that my 2022 Safari week. That was like one of the most fun times I've ever had shiny hunting. Best luck I've ever had shiny hunting ever. And we found a 5% Parasect, and it stayed for like 24 turns or something because I used the bait strat on it. It was crazy. I think catch RNG in Gen 3 might be predetermined because Rock is very good, but that one turn you risk it all, but it's like the last turn. Yeah, it's like it's determined like the turn before, essentially. Like when you throw a rock, it's like that rock you threw at that turn is not going to affect the flee rate, or the flee rate or catch rate. It's only going to be on the next turn. You do it around like 10 or so, give them the chance it'll run soon. But like the bait strat, if you look at the bait strat guides, that's like the most optimal is like when that's what that is. Okay, I'm going to have a quick break, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to do a distortion and then continue hunting. So I will be right back. What's up, Materiali? I'm taking a quick break, so I'll be right back. I was like really confused for a second. I'm like, why am I on the map? It's because the distortion's like about to start. I don't know why I didn't put that in the dock though. All right. Switch that to this. Switch that to this. I gotta feed my buddy in Pokemon Go. Dude, why is my game reset so much more often than normal? Every time I like don't have the game open for a few minutes, it's like, oh, you gotta reload the entire game. It's like, why? Why do I do? I just gotta get this Mudkip a berry. There, he's excited. Now I gotta feed it one more time. All right. I think we're good. There's nothing really important over here. All right, cool. Sneasel. Why can't you be alpha? Actually, I really can't tell if the Weevile's male or female. You're resuming your Lapras SRs. Nice. What game is this in? Is it Fire Red Leaf Green? What game do you reset for Lapras in besides... That's Fire Red Leaf Green. Oh wait, is it Scarlet Violet? Terra Lapras? You're doing it on the Lake of Outrage and Sword. There's a strong spawn Lapras. I didn't even know there was a strong spawn Lapras there. I knew there was a Milotic. Is it just like that same spot, but based on the weather? Is that what that is? I'm at 40% on the Switch. I don't think the Switch is making it the whole stream. All right, we're good. Let's be raining near the small island on the Lake of Outrage for Lapras to spawn. Oh yeah, I didn't know that. So a Lapras and Heart Gold, Still Silver in a cave you can reset for? Wow, I didn't know that either. I just am not familiar with the static Lapras encounters. I'm just not. I've only known about the like Fire Red Leaf Green and I guess like Red Blue Yellow from the Silphco. Every Friday one spawns in Heart Gold, Soul Silver? Interesting. Oh my gosh, how did I do that again? There's a Lapras where it has to be sunny, not harsh sunlight at the North Lake, Miloch in the water. Mylock, Mylok, Myluke, I don't know. That's interesting. I didn't know there were strong spawn Laprases in Sword and Shield. It's the third one from now. Alright, one. Well, good luck on the Lapras. The Sword and Shield hunts are really cool. There's just so many different ways to shiny hunt in the Sword and Shield. Two. Three. It should be it. Why would you lie? Why would you lie to me? It's crazy how much more pink the Mew is in these games than, like, any other game. You're also in for the long hunt because you don't have the charm. Full odds is best odds. It's not much different than charm hunting. The only time it's, like, a noticeable difference is when you go, like, way over odds. Like, you're not going to be hitting a 20k with a... I mean, you usually aren't going to be hitting a 20k with a 1 in 4096, but you definitely won't with, like, a 1 in 1365. But, like, you know, still take you a couple thousand usually. Having done a lot of shiny hunting, I have realized that, like, some people are just so scared of 1 in 8192, but the reality is, like, 1 in 8192 is, like, pretty much no different than 1 in 4096. If you can do a 1 in 4096 hunt, you can do 1 in 8192. It really just depends on, like, what you're going for. Like, obviously, I wouldn't just immediately recommend this Mew hunt to everyone, because it's not super fast. You gotta change your GBA batteries. The classic OG GBA. I used to have one of those. I kind of wish I still did. 1 in 8192 is the fun odds. It is. It's true. Yeah, I have a nickname already for this. I'll reveal it once we get it. Once I name it. It's something I've always thought about nicknaming it. It's kind of a generic nickname, but I don't know if anyone's actually, like, named a shiny Mew this. A friend of mine who works at Game Freak once told you moaning increases the chance of getting a shiny. Yeah, I'm okay. I don't need higher shiny odds. I prefer to hunt full odds. Getting unlucky sucks no matter what odds you're working with. Gago's kind of going off the rails right now. Is that what happens when I just don't find shinies that often? People start going crazy, and it's not just me. Which game has your favorite shiny sparkle sound effect animation? I think everyone can agree it's Gen 4. I don't think there's been a generation that's come close to Gen 4 sparkles. The other generations have tried to, like, copy it in a way, but, like, haven't been the same. I liked Sword and Shield sparkles, though. They were kind of cool. There's always, like, something, though, that would change with, like, every sparkle from, like, Gen 4. Like, after Gen 4. Like, Gen 5, I don't like that they use the freaking heal sound in it. I think that's so weird that they use like the sound that you get from like healing a Pokemon from like Gen 4 and 5. And it just sounds weird. It sounds a little like they didn't try too hard with that one. Gen 6, I think, needed to not be so similar to Gen 4. Or maybe have like a better sound effect. Because it's overall, Gen 6 was pretty good overall. Gen 7, I just didn't like the big old star in the middle. Gen 8, I wish they did the thing that Gen 7 and Gen 6 did. At least Gen 7 Alola games. Gen 7 Let's Go didn't do it, I don't think. But Gen 8, I liked the sparkles, but I wish they still had the effect where it like darkens the background for a second when the sparkles go off. I thought that was so cool that they did that. Gen 9 are just okay. I wish they were a little bigger. Not the biggest fan of Gen 9 sparkles. I appreciate them. They're not like bad, but wish they break out. They still shine like Gen 4. Oh yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be cool if they did that. That's such a unique thing. I wonder if it was intentional. Yeah, that would have been really cool if they kept that, where like every time a shiny breaks out of a Pokeball, it sparkles. Since when am I shiny hunting Mew? I've been doing it since like January. I think Gen 3 through 5 are where it's best hunting for me, or for you. Gen 3 is my favorite generation to shiny hunt in. Gen 4 is pretty good. I kind of like slept on Gen 4 for a minute. Heart Gold Soul Silver's got like really good encounter rate too for shinies. Use Illuminate White Flute and just like run. It's pretty good. I've never hunted in Gen 5, so I actually don't know. But Dark Grass is very enticing. I do really like Sword and Shield shiny hunting, though. Sword and Shield, I think, was like the best way they did shiny hunting in like a Switch, like a modern Pokemon game. The only complaints I have with Sword and Shield are the methods just need to be better. But that's not like a huge complaint to me because I like full odds hunting, so. I think full odds is so good in Gen 8. Or not in Gen 8, but in Sword and Shield. But the methods needed to be better. You're SOS chaining Caterpie and Moon right now. Good luck. I think Gen 3... Oh, I already read that. But you already said that, though. No, you just posted the same thing twice. You just added... Oh, no. You changed it slightly. You said it looks and feels the best in Gen 3 through 5. I think Gen 4 looks the best. I think aesthetically, Gen 4 is the best looking generation for, like, the graphics at the time. And, yeah, shiny hunting looks the best in Gen 4. Fire Red Leaf Green's, like, blue border for the summaries, though, is pretty hard to beat. I wish they did something cool like that for summary screens for shinies in modern games. Unpopular opinion, you prefer Scarlet and Violet over Sword and Shield? That's actually not really that unpopular of opinion. It's kind of like a 50-50 opinion, which is kind of sad. But I would like to ask you, why is that? Why do you like Scarlet and Violet over Sword and Shield? Because most people, they just say it's the story, which I agree. The story for Scarlet and Violet is better, but overall the game is so much worse in like almost every way. Gen 5 graphics are great. Nah, Gen 5 I actually think are super overrated when it comes to like the style and whatnot. You get that like weird like zoom in and out, and when a Pokemon zoomed out, it just looks bad because of the resolution of the DS. And just I don't know, it just I feel like for the pixel sprites, Gen 4 did it best. It has the best aesthetic, everything looks clean. It just looks the best in Gen 4. Do you like the OG Shiny Charizard more than the Modern Shiny? No. I don't like dislike it per se, but the black and red one is way cooler. Only modern main series Switch Pokemon game you like is Let's Go. Open world is just not doing it for you. Yeah, but Sword and Shield is an open world. Sword and Shield's more like classic Pokemon, but with like better twists and like done pretty well. The story just sucks. If we got a game like Sword and Shield again, but with a better story for like the next title, I'd be so excited. Let's Go has the best graphics of any Pokemon game, any mainline game though, I will say. Let's Go did graphics just the best, by far. Sword and Shield are way better in graphics and animation, but you really hated the camera angle. You really like the idea of open world. I just think I liked the idea of open world in Pokemon until we got it, and I just realized that it's not working very well, and I just prefer the traditional way. That is something though. What you mentioned, like the camera angle. Are you talking like in a battle or just like overall? I personally liked the hybrid Sword and Shield did, where like some are more like open world areas, and then there's like traditional areas. I liked that. If we're talking like in battle, I will say they could do a game like Sword and Shield and just make it so that you kind of control the camera angle in battle, and I think that'd be cool because it is kind of frustrating when you find like a shiny and you're trying to get a good picture of it and you just can't because it keeps focusing on you. Not in battle. Thing is, like, I'm indifferent. I personally think, like, if we're talking, like, more open world games, I think Legends Arceus did it almost better in every single way than Scarlet and Violet did. I don't have an issue with the way the camera works in, like, Sword and Shield, like, Wild Area or, like, Scarlet and Violet, but a lot of people say it gives them motion sickness. I personally prefer the animated sprites in Gen 5, but the entire DS era Pokemon was peak. Yeah, I wasn't like the biggest fan of the animated sprites in Gen 5. I know a lot of people are. Like I get it. But yeah, it just I don't know. I just thought like Gen 4 looked so much better than Gen 5. I see these videos where people are like turning Gen 4, they're like making like Platinum, but they're giving it Gen 5 graphics, and I just think it just doesn't look as good. Sword and Shield needed HMs. It was too linear from every perspective of Pokemon games. You like linearity, but Sword and Shield has like 0 optional routes or hidden secrets. Like even the depth of level design was kind of boring. Yeah, no, I'll agree with that. But like the overall like that's like not something I'm picky about. I think that what we had in Sword and Shield was like leagues better than Scarlet and Violet though. Scarlet and Violet is so empty and boring, like Paldea is. And, like, I actually didn't even think about that. Yeah, there really aren't, like, HMs in Sword and Shield. The most is, like, the water bike to, like, get you to a farther area. Open world Pokemon, fantastic, unless it's rushed, but Game Freak, rushed out by Game Freak with no real effort, which is the only thing we'll ever get. I think one good open world Pokemon game would be great, but I don't need it to be the norm of Pokemon games moving forward. I don't want it to be the norm of Pokemon games moving forward. It would ruin the idea. Scarlet and Violet in general just kind of makes you want to puke. You don't handle realistic graphics well. I don't think Pokemon should do realistic graphics. They need to be more stylized. They've been trying to push realistic more realistic. I can't even say that right. They've been trying to push realistic graphics for like the past couple games, And it doesn't make sense to me when Pokemon is a cartoon. Like, I think Sword and Shield's art style is so much better than, like, Scarlet and Violet's. Legends is kind of like an in-between. Like, it's more realistic, but it at least has a sense of style to it. So yeah, that's kind of my opinion. I liked the cel-shaded style more. They just needed to make, like, the game look a little better than it did. You really like the camera angle in Scarlet and Violet and the encounter mechanics, but you have to admit they lack everything else. I can't stand the encounter mechanics in Scarlet and Violet. Even taking out my issue with, like, shinies being too easy, the way encounters work in Scarlet and Violet is done so poorly to the point where it's frustrating. Like, you have Pokemon spawning behind you that you can't see, and you have Pokemon spawning on the despawn border, and they'll just immediately despawn and stuff like that. It's done, and there's no animation to them spawning or despawning. So it's just done so poorly, I think. I don't think anyone should, like, think the spawning mechanics in Scarlet and Violet are good. Like, there's one thing to like overworld shinies and overworld Pokemon games, but Scarlet and Violet did that aspect really bad. Like, Legends Arceus did it better in, like, every way. Your opinion, Game Freak should do traditional 2.5D games. Ilka should be the third Pokemon devs with no time limit. I don't think we're ever going to get to a scenario where there's, like, no time limit on Pokemon games, though. It's the issue. Encounter loops in Scarlet and Violet make you rage quit. Yeah. I mean, like, dude, try to shiny hunt Dondozo in Scarlet and Violet, and you'll know that shiny hunting a Dondozo, like at a Dondozo outbreak in Scarlet and Violet, is the epitome of what is wrong with the spawning mechanics in Scarlet and Violet. It just is. When I was shiny hunting Dondozo for the Jumbo Mark, I failed like every other shiny because of just the poor spawn mechanics and the lag. But, I mean, you're going to get lag everywhere in Scarlet and Violet, so... Mostly the poor spawn mechanics that was the issue. You really like overworld mons? They get so annoying. Yeah, I mean, like, dude, the amount of videos I still see of people where they'll like get into an encounter. I just saw one recently. Someone got into an encounter with an Iron Valiant, and they ran away from it, and then another one ran into them, and they got into that encounter. And then they ran from it, and then the first one ran into them again. And there's just like an endless loop of them getting into encounters. It's like, that's frustrating. Like, in general, technically Scarlet and Violet are the worst games released as today, but I like the idea behind them. No, I like the idea behind Scarlet and Violet. They just dropped the ball in like almost every way for me. To the point where I'm like, alright, I don't need them to keep trying this. It's not working. I think if they stick to, like, Legends games being the more open world style, and then have, like, the other games be, like, more traditional, I think that'd be the good balance. Like the fact that Pokemon are spawnable everywhere, not only in grass. You do not like how they did it, but you like the idea. Yeah, but it was just done better in Legends Arceus. Like, Arceus did overworld Pokemon better, and I like the idea of traditional grass encounters. I liked what they did with Sword and Shield. I think Sword and Shield did it so good. There's, like, overworld encounters and traditional and grass encounters, but what makes it even cooler is that shinies are still rare because you have to actually encounter the Pokemon to see if they're shiny, instead of just, like, see them and just, like, force spawn a bunch of them at, like, 500 of a second. Probably can't have it be interesting to do a 2D, 3D toggle like Dragon Quest. I've never seen that, so I don't know what the... I can't, like, picture that. I have seen, I think it's Octopath. Is it Octopath Traveler? It's like a 2D game in a 3D space. And that would be a cool way if they did, like, a remake like that. 2 FPS Dondozo hunting. Like... The FPS was definitely part of it, but my point behind Dondozo was just like it just highlights everything that's wrong with how the spawning works in Scarlet and Violet. Because, like, obviously I'm not the biggest fan of overworld encounters, but if you compare what we have in Scarlet and Violet to that of, like, Legends Arceus, Legends Arceus does it so much better, and it's like it just feels a lot more polished. Not a big complainer, but you will say you hate how Pokemon spawn underwater. That's not like that bothersome to me, but I do understand that like if you're shiny hunting, it makes them like harder to see. So it's like kind of annoying, and they don't need to do that. Game Freak handles 2D games better than 3D games 100%. I don't know why they try 3D in their team. This isn't good at 3D. I feel like that's unfair. Because I feel like a lot of their 3D games have been rather successful for Pokemon. It's only, like, for me, I've never really had an issue with the Pokemon games until, and I hate to say it, but until Legends. Actually, I kind of had an issue with Let's Go, but it's more of just the overworld aspect than it being 3D. But, like, you know, and that's kind of how I feel about Legends, too. Like, I was, like, thoroughly enjoying, like, the Gen 7 era of Pokemon and, like, the tail end of the Gen 6 era. I never really had an issue with them going to 3D. I understand the complaints, though, of, like, you know, they need to start doing more animations or update models or whatnot, which they have been doing, which is good. But that's never been, like, a huge issue for me. People get like 10 plus shinies in Scarlet and Violet hunting and just feel so off to me. Like, where's the gameplay in Scarlet and Violet hunting now? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I've always said that. Like, I like shiny hunting because the shinies are rare, and in a collection game, it's fun to find something that's rare, and rarity matters in collection games like that. Scarlet and Violet it's like they did everything in their power to make sure there was no rarity for anything. Everything is super easy to get. Even like marked shinies are super easy. It's like you want to get a rare marked shiny authentic Sinistea. That was like unheard of in Sword and Shield. Scarlet and Violet, it's like just roll until you find an authentic Sinistea outbreak and then just do a sandwich and just go until you find a rare marked one. Like, yeah, it'll take some time, but like anyone can do it now. It's not just like a crazy rare thing that could happen like randomly to someone. It's something anyone could just do now. And I kind of think that defeats the purpose of like having rarity, and it like it ruins the fun of like collection games when nothing is rare and nothing is a grind or anything. So like, and I know not everyone agrees with that, but I think it's like a really important thing. But yeah, it's like the thing about shinies. Like shinies are kind of ruined in Scarlet and Violet. Shinies don't really have any sort of rarity to them in Scarlet and Violet. And if you have that same opinion as I do, where I think shinies got ruined in Scarlet and Violet and are way too easy, there's nothing to do once you beat the game, unless you're into competitive. Because there's no, like, battle facilities, there's none of that. It's all just you shiny hunts and don't enjoy it like I do. Or you shiny hunt it, enjoy it, and then get every single shiny in the matter of like a month or two, and then you don't have anything else to do in the game. Or you get into competitive. But when you have a game like Sword and Shield, where rarity is still like a thing, there's always something to go for in Sword and Shield. There's always a reason to go back to Sword and Shield, you know? And I think that's like a big deal in modern Pokemon games, and they need to understand that. I hope they figure it out. But to me, I feel like the best way to solve it is just go back to traditional encounters. I don't think there's going to be much they can do with overworld encounters to make it better. Overworld shinies, I should say. After BDSP, you really don't trust Ilka to handle any sort of main series development. I trust them, I just want them to be more open to changing up the games they remake if they're going to remake more games. Because, I mean, like, as disappointing as BDSP was, I still enjoy those games a lot more than Scarlet and Violet. I still go back to those games to, like, do ribbons and whatnot and just maybe find a shiny or something. You wish contests would come back? Yeah, like, contests are not for everyone, but, like, just having options. That's the thing about Battle Tower. That was always a debate where, like, they got rid of the Battle Frontier. And it's like, dude, even though not everyone did the Battle Frontier, it's like, what's the point of removing things that people enjoy in these games? I agree with you. Legends Arceus is the best game for encounter mechanics. I still disagree. I think it was done better than Scarlet and Violet, but I think best encounter mechanics was Sword and Shield in terms of like a modern Pokemon game. Having like the hybrid overworld and traditional encounters, but you can't see the shiny in the overworld, I thought just like worked so much better. Kept rarity of shinies, but also allowed people to have like an overworld like fix. To like see the Pokemon roaming around with them. Probably never do this, but I hope they go back to 1 and 8192 odds. They definitely won't, but it won't matter. They could totally stay at 1 in 4096 if they go back to traditional encounters. Like I said before, 1 in 4096 is like hardly different than 1 in 8192. The difference is the encounter rate. When you see 15 Pokemon every second and you don't have to encounter them to see if they're shiny, even 1 in 4096, you're going to hit that odds like pretty quickly. It's all about the encounter rate.
This does put a smile on my face.
Lex Quando, thank you for the follow. Thank you for putting a smile on Thanos' face. I do appreciate it.
This does put a smile on my face.
Mr. Romnesite, thank you for the follow. Thank you for putting a smile on Thanos' face. I do appreciate it. To be fair, Gen 6 and 7 were decent. The issue with them mostly was the models felt super stiff. Going from Gen 5 to 7 felt like a huge visual downgrade. Not bad games, just very weird decision. Yeah, I agree. But they've been doing better with the models and stuff as of late in the animations. There will always be another DA hunt. That's another thing, man. It's like them. They need to stop shiny locking stuff. People still go back to Sword and Shield just for Dynamax adventures. I can't tell you how. I don't know anyone who's been talking about the legendaries in Scarlet and Violet because there's nothing exciting about them when you can't shiny hunt them. Going down the Motostoke Gym mission, which you did once. Nice, good luck. I think ZA could be at the turning point. Either way, I think it might make them reconsider what they're doing either way. The thing about Legend ZA, Pediati, thank you for the follow. Thank you for putting a smile on Thanos' face. I do appreciate it. The thing about Legend ZA is that I know it's just going to be another overworld game, and I'm just kind of over it, so I am not super optimistic. I think I'll enjoy it more than Scarlet and Violet for sure, but I'm not super optimistic of its lasting power for me. Because, I mean, on my channel, I've only done one full odds hunt in Legends Arceus because I just didn't really like shiny hunting. In Legends Arceus, I just don't like the overworld shiny hunting mechanics and stuff, like, overall. I just think it makes shinies a little too easy. It's a lot better in Legends than Scarlet and Violet, but, like, overall, it's like, when I'm finding a shiny every, like, couple hours, like, easily, or, like, maybe every 30 minutes, it just doesn't hit the same. Because it's more expected to find the shiny faster, and then when you do, it's like, okay, I expected that, so. I mean, that's just me. But, yeah, I mean, like, if they throw a curveball and Legends ZA is nothing like Legends Arceus, that'd be kind of crazy, but I don't expect that. I feel like if you're gonna have two games with the same, like, subcategory title, then they're gonna be similar games. Really hope they experiment with 2D again. It's so not fair how 2D Mario gets experimented with, not Pokemon. Yeah, it'd be cool. I can't see them going back to 2D, but I would want them to experiment with it. There's so much you can do with 2D styles that are just different and unique and fresh still. Same with spinoffs. You want stuff like Mystery Dungeon Ranger and Conquest again. Dude, they gotta make, like, a good Mystery Dungeon game with, like, every generation. That'd be so cool. I wish we could hunt the Scarlet and Violet Legends because their shinies look really cool. Yeah. Dude, and like them locking the legendaries from the DLC, it's like I was so excited that there was a chance we'd be able to shiny hunt like Cubfu. Like, think how cool it would have been with the backwards compatibility of Scarlet and Violet. How awesome would it have been to shiny hunt Cubfu in Scarlet and Violet and then send it into Sword and Shield and have it in Sword and Shield? That would have been unreal. And it's just like all that possibility just gone. Same here with open world. They're just done with the open world games. They're boring. Yeah, I kind of agree. They've kind of run their course. Like, even Legends Arceus, as much as I enjoy Legends Arceus, there's only so many times I can just go to the Obsidian Fieldlands and, like, have a unique experience and still, like, be, like, enjoying myself with it. When you get bored of a hunt, do you switch targets or just keep going? You're at 35k personal XP, you don't know what to do. I just keep going with it. Sometimes I take breaks, and I'll be like, I just need to stop hunting for a couple days or whatever. But I stick with it because the way I see it, it's like if you're going to spend 35,000 encounters, like that's a long time. If you were to quit, that's all that for nothing. And you're very unlikely to keep going much farther than that. So just like stick with it and you'll get it soon. But if you don't have the motivation, just like take breaks, obviously. It's always a good thing. You don't like completely random encounters since you dislike the possibility of phasing. You still phase with random encounters, though. What I like about, like, old school, like, shiny hunting is that, like, it's chill. You don't have to be locked into it. And also, there's, like, cool mechanics and stuff that can allow you to, like, get your target faster. Like, out-of-battle effects for abilities, which they completely removed in Scarlet and Violet. Like, stuff like that. Like, repel tricks, like that. Those are cool. I like that. I like those, like, those mechanics that kind of make, add another layer to shiny hunting. They removed, like, all of that in Scarlet and Violet. They should keep Legends games open world, but main games, like, first 8 gens. Yeah, that's what I think they should do. I don't know if they will, though, because Scarlet and Violet kind of threw that theory into the trash. Yes, I am hunting Mew, and I'm very over odds on Mew. Once you had a level 1 C-Dot that only knew Explosion in the final rival battle, which used your version exclusive legendary, and you won using the C-Dot, nice. The last shiny you got was Ralts in Gen 3 after 2 phases, so you used all your luck. Yeah, that is pretty lucky. Yeah, I wish I would probably I still wouldn't like Scarlet and Violet as games, but like there's times like I was hunting the mark, like the kindly mark, not too long ago, you know, like over the weekend. I was hunting the kindly mark, and it was like every time I like went close enough to the water, it's like my game dropped to like 5 FPS, and it's just like annoying, frustrating. It's not even like it's just like everything. Like, you would, like, touch a crack in the ground, and Koraidon would start, like, glitching out and sliding around everywhere, and it's just, like, come on, man. Like, it's just frustrating when it's, like, it's so easy to just experience, like, weird glitches. I'm getting a call from someone I don't know. I guess we'll just let it go to voicemail. Yeah, you're using C-Dot on the Hop Zamazenta. That's funny. Not gonna lie, Scarlet and Violet might have maybe hurt the sales of the next game. I know for a fact you're not pre-ordering anymore, or just not worth it anymore. I'm always gonna get, like, the newest game day one. But, you know. I'm not gonna be, like, super... I'm not gonna be telling everyone to buy it. It has been a minute since I've been like super like everyone's got to get this Pokemon game, you know? Like I didn't feel that for BDSP. I sort of felt that for Legends Arceus, but it wasn't like that crazy. And then I like actively told people not to buy Scarlet and Violet. And by actively, I mean, like, that's not really I mean, like, in chat. It's mainly, like, in chat. But, like, sometimes, like, my cousin will be like, hey, Is that new Pokemon game fun? Scarlet and Violet, I was like, heck no. Oh! Is this a female? It's a female! Let's go! I knew I was gonna get Weavile, but at least it's a female. We'll take it. That's one we need. Now we need specifically Sneasel female. And then we're done with the Fieldlands. Nice. Progress, man. This is why we're still doing Legends distortions while hunting Mew, because, you know, sometimes you just make progress. Why am I in pasture 27? What is that? Why do I have a shiny Lux right here? I guess here we go. Male and female Alpha Weavile. Now we just need a female Alpha Sneasel. And I gotta put this guy somewhere. Guess I can put it there. We'll take it. I knew it was gonna happen. I'm not gonna be shocked if I'm gonna get another Alpha Weavile before an Alpha Sneasel, but at least we got something we needed. Because that easily could have just been a male one, and that would have just sucked even worse. Let's us save. Also, kind of crazy. We've been streaming for over 2 hours. I have yet to encounter an intense weather, which I know it's gonna happen now because I just said that, but 316 now. Nice. 6 more. 6 more to go. We need female Sneasel, the Porygon line, and then Cranidos and Rampardos. We'll take it. Add that to the Alpha folder. Switch to here. Get counter up. Switch back to this one. You might get it, but you want to see how it is before buying it. See, for me, because I know Legend ZA is going to have, like, new Pokemon, I'm going to want to get it regardless, just to, like, you know, have the full living dex. And also, I make content on YouTube on Pokemon, so it'd be silly for me to not make videos on the new game. What camera do I use to record a GBA? It is a Sony Handycam. There's some, like, sub-code thing for it. I don't know what it's called. It's the cheaper one. I asked Absol what camera he uses, and he gave me a link for what camera he uses, and it was like $1,000 camera, and I just wasn't in the market for it. So I bought, like, the $250 option or whatever. Yeah, 7 male Weavile later. Yeah, I was saying this earlier. I think at least from the distortions, I think there's certain Pokemon that have a much higher chance to be alpha. And I think definitely the evolved Pokemon from the distortions are more likely to be alpha. So I kind of figured I was going to get Weavile first, and I probably will get at least another one before I get a female Sneasel alpha. What's up, Crystal and Star Wars? How's it going? Yeah, I recorded it. You guess modest? I didn't check the nature. I guess I'll check the nature for you. It's rash nature. Let's check what the Magnemite was, though. I never checked the Magnemite either. Magnemite was careful. You're doing good, and you? I'm doing alright. I just got an Alpha Weavile that I needed. Only 6 more Alphas in Legends Arceus to get every version of every Alpha possible. But, doing pretty bad on the Mew hunt. That'd be crazy if the Mew showed up now. Send you all my remaining luck today. Thank you. I'm gonna need it for this Mew. We're definitely most likely hitting double odds on this one. You gotta stop talking about Scarlet and Violet. It's depressing to you. It's not depressing to me because I've kind of gotten over it. I was in a more... I mean, I haven't really gotten over it, but... For me, it's the worry that the series will continue down that path is why I like... That's the depressing thing. But at the same time, I'm pretty hopeful that it's like Scarlet and Violet's gonna be like a one dud thing that's like out of all of them. Because I haven't like disliked any Pokemon game until Scarlet and Violet. So I wouldn't be surprised if Scarlet and Violet's like the one dud. It's just the first time I've ever experienced like the newest main game being like not good. But I mean, Scarlet and Violet has gotten a lot of backlash. It's gotten a lot of criticism, so I hope that's a good thing. Gonna boot up your GBA again? Nice. I'll get it. I just hope I get it soon. I want to get it before I start hunting Safari Zone, which will be Monday. And I'm not super hopeful, but I could get at least like a couple more thousand in before Monday. To really go hard. Hypnotic Turtle, thank you for the shiny lock. You hope they stay away from open world. See, that's the thing. I don't know if they're gonna stay away from open world, but I think if they'll at least make the games better. I hope they stay away from open world, but I just don't think they will. The only problem is Scarlet and Violet sold too well, but every modern Pokemon game sells too well. The reason for it is because so many people own a Switch. The Switch is like the second highest selling console of all time. Everyone and their mother has a Nintendo Switch, so like naturally when a big Pokemon game comes out, most people are gonna just get it. So, like Sword and Shield sold super well too, and a lot of people had issues with Sword and Shield. I personally love Sword and Shield. Taylor, thank you for the shiny luck. But if they ported Gens 1 through 3, a lot of fans would calm down a bit. The modern state isn't good, but at least we get a good gameplay. Yeah. I just hope they don't use, like, ports of Gen 3 games to be a reason to shut Bank down. I really hope they don't do that. You like Scarlet and Violet, actually? I mean, there's nothing wrong with liking it. I'm usually just curious as to why. But, I mean, there's nothing wrong liking it. There's one thing to like it, there's another thing to, like, defend it and say, like, people aren't valid with their complaints, because they're pretty rough games. like, you don't need to be, like, super into the series to know that, like, they're kind of rough games. You want a proper open world game that has level scaling? I was saying this earlier. I think they need to do one good open world game and then not continue with it. Like, not keep doing that for the series. We need, because I definitely think, like, a well-made open world Pokemon game could be cool, but we just haven't seen that yet. And I don't want them to just keep trying over and over again, because I'm kind of like, what we're at in the series right now, I'm just like, I don't want anymore. Like, give me a traditional game at this point. We'll need a compilation video of every Pokemon you've caught while you're in the middle of trashing Scarlet and Violet. Yeah, true. I wasn't really trashing it. I was just saying that, like, I wasn't, like, recommending it to people. It's fine to enjoy it, but others don't like it. That's also fine, yeah. I say this all the time, and I don't want to be, like, trashing on a game that you enjoy, because that's, like, I understand. But it's like bad movies, you know? There's some terrible movies out there, but there's enjoyment to be had with a lot of bad movies. There's nothing wrong with liking bad movies. There's nothing wrong with liking bad games. But that doesn't mean you should, like, there's people that flat out defend Scarlet and Violet, and it's like, you're playing a different game than I am if you're doing that. Is Mystery Dungeon good? I really like the Mystery Dungeon series, but the new one that came out didn't wow me, so I didn't get it. Because the new one that came out was a remake of Red and Blue Rescue Team, which I already have Red Rescue Team, so to me, I didn't really have a reason to get it. But, like, I don't know. If they, like, made a modern Mystery Dungeon game with, like, all 9 generations, that'd be really cool. And if they do shinies in them, they have to be done right, which I don't think they'll do them right, so... You believe you'll get a shiny Mew, and you are awesome. Thank you. Doodle Kaiju, thank you for the shiny luck. Agreed, it's fine. Oh, I already read that. How am I? I'm doing all right. We just got an alpha Weavile that we needed for the alpha challenge, which was pretty cool. No Mew yet, though. You don't like how unfinished Scarlet and Violet was, but it had probably the strongest new Pokemon designs in a while. Some of them, yes. I guess I don't know if I need more time. Maybe I just need to go through all the generations. Because I don't know if I could say Gen 8 was better in terms of designs. They've never really, like, had a bad generation of designs, I will say. They've never really had. Scarlet and Violet, when it came out, in terms of the Pokemon designs, I was like, this doesn't feel real. But then I got used to it, and I was like, no, this is pretty on par. But yeah, when even at the beginning, when I started playing Scarlet and Violet, I was like, this is the first time a Pokemon game has genuinely felt unfinished for me. And it's just crazy they never fixed the lag. There's also still a bunch of, like, issues with, like, terror raids and stuff that they just probably never fix. Yeah, it was female. It was one we needed. I just need the female Sneasile. The female Sneasel, and then we can move on to probably Obsidian, or the Crimson Myrlands to try to get Porygon. I mean, Pokemon designs are good. Last DLC was fun. You didn't have many performance issues like most people have. Did not like Sword and Shield at all, but Scarlet and Violet was this game. I think, of course, it could be better. I think Sword and Shield is almost in every way better than Scarlet and Violet, except for the story. But that doesn't really mean much to me, because I've never really cared about the Pokemon stories. My enjoyment when playing through a Pokemon game is, like, the discovering of, like, new things. I never really care about the stories. The only story I thought was, like, really good in a modern game was, like, Legends Arceus, because it, like, took existing lore and built upon it, which I thought was cool. First Scarlet and Violet DLC was fire. I feel like both Scarlet and Violet DLCs were the same to me. It was just the same button mashing through dialogue that didn't matter, and then you do a few battles, and then you beat the game, you catch the legendary, and then it's like, now you're stuck doing nothing like before. Like, it didn't add enough for me to be, like, super excited about it. Like, both of them. I do think I liked Teal Mask more than Indigo Disc, but I just, I just didn't care about the stories, and the DLC didn't really add anything special to me, for me, to, like, make it feel like it was worth $35. Most people trashed Gen 5 designs when it came out. Okay, my opinion on Gen 5 is pretty much the same as it's a little different than it was when I first discovered Gen 5. I wasn't into Pokemon when Gen 5 came out. But my opinion on Gen 5 was, like, it was overall, like, really bad design-wise. But then as I have appreciated them more, my opinion on Gen 5 is this. Every generation's gonna have hits and misses. People gas up Gen 5 because there's a lot of cool Pokemon in it. But Gen 5 is the largest generation. Of course there's gonna be a lot of good Pokemon in it. There's also a lot of pretty stupid Pokemon in Gen 5 because it's the largest generation. It's the same as every other generation. There's hits or misses. But with how massive Gen 5 is, it's like there's just more hits and more misses in Gen 5. So that's how I feel about it. But before I was overall negative. Nowadays, it's just kind of the same as every other generation. You don't get how people say they don't have the same performance issues. I mean, it's not like PC where there's different builds. Everyone has the same issues. Yeah, I kind of agree. When we say performance issues, we mean the game doesn't run at 30 FPS consistently for most of it. So it's kind of hard for me to believe anyone played any of like Scarlet and Violet with just perfect 30 FPS the whole time, because that's just impossible. When it comes to like glitches and stuff, yeah, I didn't experience too many like crazy glitches in my playthrough, but I would appreciate if the game didn't hurt my eyes because of the stuttering, you know? Thor, thank you for the shiny luck. Something Pokemon Mystery Dungeon should have shiny hunting. I like shinies in Mystery Dungeon, but they don't mix well. They could mix well if they did it the right way, and I think the right way they do it, and they'll never do it. I just think there's a right way to do shiny hunting in Mystery Dungeon, and I just know they will never do it. And that is, they need to have every Pokemon have a chance of being shiny, assuming you are able to recruit them. If you can't recruit them, they're locked. If you can recruit them, every Pokemon has a 1 in 8192, or sorry, 1 in 4096, because it's modern games. 1 in 4096 chance to be shiny, and they should also be guaranteed to be recruited if you KO them. That's how it should go. That's not how they did it in the remake of Red Rescue Team, and I thought what they did for shiny hunting in those games was so poor. I just know they're never gonna do that because they see people like they see shiny hunting and they think as easy as possible is what people like, and that's just not true. There's a reason why people are still playing Pokemon Rumble. It's because shiny hunting was done right in that game. Do you agree Gen 9 designs are good, but the game was kind of trashy? AAA gaming is just kind of not in a good state now. Yeah, it's not just Pokemon. It's like every AAA company just kind of dishes out subpar games for a $60 or $70 price tag that's not really great. Or it's unfinished and they'll update the game later on. Maybe you didn't have too much performance issues because just before playing Scarlet and Violet, your old PC was dying and you were having all the troubles on your PC, on your game's PC, so you did not feel the issues on Scarlet. Oh, so you like had it worse on your PC games? That's kind of funny. But yeah, I mean, it's like you can't go near water in Scarlet and Violet without the game dropping to like 10 FPS, and that's not like some people are gonna experience that and others won't. No, that's a consistent thing. Like again, like if anyone thinks Scarlet and Violet like is a well-running game, try to shiny hunt a Dondozo. Just try it. Not only will you realize the game runs terribly, but also the mechanics for how Pokemon spawn and despawn are pretty poorly designed as well. You like the stories and battles on every Pokemon games, and the shiny hunting is good. Shiny hunting is not good in Scarlet and Violet, but I understand people liking the story. I thought Scarlet and Violet's story was like really good until I realized that only half of it was really good, and that was the Arven story and the Area Zero story. That was good. Yeah, like Pokemon Rumble. That's what I'm saying. Like if they do it like Pokemon Rumble, it'd be good. There's no boosted shiny rates. The thing is, the way they did it in Mystery Dungeon was there was only like 30 Pokemon that could even be shiny in Mystery Dungeon, and they had a really high chance to be shiny, but it was very unlikely to recruit them. So like the hunt was recruiting them, not finding the shiny, and I just think that's kind of not how it should be done. And also every Pokemon should have a chance to be shiny. It just makes it that much more exciting. You think they'll look back at Gen 9 and go, this is what not to do? I don't know. I would like to think that, but I don't know. Hope you're well, man. You're currently moving your Gen 4 decks to Gen 5 and then up to Bank Home, currently playing that annoying Slingshot minigame. Hey, the Slingshot minigame, as annoying as it is, it's nowhere near as bad as sending Pokemon from Gen 3 to 4. Okay, this is also... I have a distortion that's about to start. This is the last distortion I can do today because my Switch is about to die, so we'll get that going. You think that on Scarlet and Violet they need to fix the shiny on Igglybuff and Tauros? It's hard to tell if they're shiny. Guess what? There's not an issue with subtle shinies. Also, Tauros is pretty easy to tell. Igglybuff I get though. Subtle shinies are not an issue if you just make them not overworld. Isn't that crazy? When you don't have to see, like, double check to make sure the Pokemon shiny because you just got into an encounter with it and it sparkled, like, that should be good. The only thing you hate is that people think the first 151 are superior to everything. I mean, just like, I think Gen 1's designs are better than most, but I don't think they're all amazing. I think Gen 3 is the best out of the designs. Found a full-eyed shiny Durant yesterday. Nice. How do you send Mons from Gen 3 to 4? You have to transfer... You have to use a DS with a dual slot, so like a DS Lite or a DS Fat. You put the Gen 3 game in the bottom slot and the Gen 4 game in the top slot, and then it gives you an option to migrate Pokemon. The issue is you can only do 6 at a time. So you have to do 6 of them, and then you go to Pal Park, and then you have to painstakingly locate them and catch them, and then do another 6. And then if you're doing like a full generation, it takes literally hours to do that, and it's awful. Demon Chilling, your channel blew up. Probably don't remember you. Unfortunately, I don't. But I see you're not an old or a new first time chat, so I definitely know you've been in the stream before. How to unlock the Mew event? I did a not a DNS exploit. I did a Pomeg Berry glitch to get the items, and then this crazy glitch to allow it to hit the flags to trigger the events. Yeah, DS Lite and DS Fat, true. Yeah, it's worse if it's raining in Scarlet and Violet too. Gen 1 is good, but yeah, almost all the G-Max forms are Kanto Pokemon, and most of the Alolan forms are too. Yeah, I thought it was odd that like the only non-Gen 8 or 1 Pokemon to get a G-Max is Garbodor. I thought that was bizarre. I thought they should have done more of like not Gen 1 and 8. And they have Melmetal, but Melmetal is like a weird thing too. Yeah, this Pokemon Emerald. I'm gonna do a distortion in Legends though. And then we're gonna be done with Legends for the rest of the day because my Switch is about to die. That is the wrong layout again. I don't know why I keep clicking that one. All right. Let's do this. Do you know the shiny odds in Pokemon White? Yeah, it's 1 in 8192. I forget if the like lucky power, there's like a lucky power. I forget if that's only in Black 2, White 2. But if you have like the max lucky power, it'll like give you an extra roll for a shiny. But I think that's only the sequels. But yeah, base odds in Gen 5 is 1 in 8192. And I think the only time you can buff them is in Black 2, White 2. And you kind of have to like go out of your way for it, so it's not like something you would just randomly come across. I need one more Sneasel. Unless I'm blind. Okay, there's a Weavile there. I can't even find the first Sneasel. First Sneasel was somewhere over here, wasn't it? Oh, there's another Weavile. Okay. Well, I knew there was one Sneasel, so even though I can't see it now. Oh, there it is. Why could I not see that? Melmetal event part of any region's Pokedex? Melmetal event a part. You mean like the event G-Max one? I'm not sure what you mean by that, like part of any region's Pokedex. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Alright, we're done with Legends for the day. Because my Switch cannot handle it anymore. It's unfortunate. But that's the price you pay when you're trying to see distortions. You've been shiny hunting Rayquaza on BDSP for 3.5 weeks with 4 to 12 hours a day. That's a lot. Any tips on hunting? I don't think I can give you any tips. You just gotta stick with it and then you'll get it at some point. It's just random. 4 to 12 hours a day is a lot of hunting. Like, you will get it soon if you're doing that much. Do you use sandwiches when shiny hunting on Scarlet and Violet? When I'm going for marks, I do the boosted odds, but if I'm not doing my mark challenge, I do full odds. You got a shiny Trubbish in Pokemon Sword? Nice. I'm just making sure we're, like, situated. I don't know why. It feels different now that I don't have the switch right here. Watched your video on the Brilliant Method a while back, and you got a shiny Honedge. Probably not doing that again. Yeah, the Brilliant Method is honestly not worth it. If you have Shiny Charm, you, Demon Chillin', thank you for the follow. Thank you for putting a smile on Thanos' face. I do appreciate it. If you have Shiny Charm in Sword and Shield, even, like, don't even factor in the 500 KOs. You would hit odds faster with a 1 in 1365 just doing normal encounters than the 1 in 455 doing the brilliant encounters only. Oh, I gotta grab something really quick. Also, is this game actually gonna die soon? I don't know if it is. I should plug it in. I gotta go grab something really quick. So no, it's at green light. Okay. This Game Boy on the right sometimes just like changes from red light to green light. All right, let me grab something really quick and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I have a package that is secret that it's not important, but I just gotta hide it. All right. You probably should have done random encounters or Masuda. Yeah, okay, I probably should plug this Game Boy in. It's been a little more consistent on the red light, so I'm just gonna assume the battery's getting low. This Game Boy used to just turn off randomly sometimes. It doesn't anymore. It used to just turn off randomly sometimes. Oh, is Melmetal even part of any region's Pokedex? Oh, I don't think so. It's in Pokemon Go's Pokedex. But I don't think it's... I don't know. I don't know if it shows up in Galar's Pokedex at all. I don't think so. I got another Dragonite plush. Yeah, I got a bunch of plushes. I haven't gotten it. I didn't get one like recently, so whatever you're seeing is not like recent. Besides the Execute, which I made, and that's also a hat that I'm gonna wear for Safari Week. Been shiny? Oh, I already read that. You get a shiny Abra in Pokemon Quest. Nice. Never played Pokemon Quest. Oh, it was a joke about the package I got. No, it's not like a Father's Day gift, so I just gotta make sure my dad doesn't see it. So I had to bring it up here. Is that the Switch? Is that the Scarlet and Violet Switch OLED? Not the one I'm using for Legends. But it's in the Scarlet and Violet Switch OLED dock. Are you talking about the one that's behind me? This one is. This is the Scarlet and Violet Switch OLED. But the one I've been using for Legends is just like an OG Switch. Like, OG Switch. It feels so bizarre to not have a Pokemon originate from a region. Yeah, they put it like region unknown. Because it's from Go. Do I know when Safari Week is this month? Are you in a joking mood right now? It's like, I just don't know when Safari Week is. Could not tell you when Safari Week is. Let me just stretch my fingers really quick. When would Safari Week be? When would Safari Week be? I don't know, man. Couldn't tell you. Oh, so you actually weren't joking, okay? Yep, there's these big bold letters on the layout that tell you when Safari Week is. If only there were something, if only it were on screen somewhere. Yeah, true. It'd be very convenient if there was a date, a range of dates that told us when Safari Week was, just right in front of us, so we would know. No, it's all good. It is funny though. It's something you realize with like the amount I've streamed is that people don't notice even the most obvious things that are on the layout. For those who don't know, the reason why I think it's just this layout. I just have like when I do my Living Dex challenges, it's just like my Elgato. But I have the Living Dex that's the big not that. Living Dex total and Living Dex counter. So I have it in like the top left over here. But I used to have them in white text. And the amount of people that asked me how far in I was in the Living Dex when I had like big white text in the top left was baffling to me. So I made it yellow because I thought that'd be a little more noticeable. And I think it worked. But yeah, it's like there's a lot people surprisingly notice very little on your layout. But I guess I get it because it's like you're focusing more on like the actual gameplay. Or like sometimes people will ask me if there's like a way you can view like my shiny Living Dex or something when it says exclamation shiny Dex on screen. Or people will ask me like what my last shiny was and it'll say like right above me last shiny. Or people will be like, how many in are you for Mew? I've had a lot of people ask me like how many encounters in I am at a hunt that I'm currently doing. I'm like, I'm a graphic designer. I don't know if I can make things more obvious. I try as hard as I can to make things as obvious as possible. There's a reason why I don't have like super complex layouts and stuff, like because I try to make things noticeable and like I don't want it to be too messy. So I just have this like this basic background. Want stuff to be easy to read. You looked up like 8 times before you noticed, yeah. Maybe because of the amount of information on screen, people would focus on the Pokemon game. I think it's mainly they focus on the game. But yeah, like I mean, there's people that have like crazy layouts. Where like they'll just be stuff like distracting almost on the layout. I try to put all the like necessary information. So like obviously my Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, info, because that's where I post a lot of stuff on, like info wise, like people get updates and stuff from that. What I'm currently hunting, how many encounters I'm in, what my last shiny was, and then like the top is usually reserved for like any other additional info. Normally it just shows like my Kanto Living Dex progress, but since a lot of people were asking about Safari Week, I changed it to the Safari Week date. You have 2 questions. How many encounters are you in, and what was my last shiny? Technically, like, I wouldn't count this as a last shiny, but I have been putting, like, my last marked shiny. My last shiny is technically Gyarados. My last full odd shiny. How did I go left? I hit up. What was that? Your mom loved Mew and you like Mew too. It's a good Pokemon. Yeah, Mew's great. You can't ask when is Safari Week. You said you only had 2 questions. That's a 3rd question. Unacceptable. Will not allow it. I will not allow a 3rd question when you say you have 2 questions. Yeah, I have the whole shiny Mew shrine behind. It's not working. I have more shiny Mew cards too. I have 2 more shining Mew cards like this one. Another 9 and a 10. But the 10 I'm not taking out. The 10 is behind me in a frame, and I'm not taking it out of the frame because this is too much work for this. What's up, Liam? Welcome in. I need to get these 2 cards graded, but I did not renew my membership to PSA, and I gotta really be certain I want to spend the kind of money for that. Because unfortunately, the membership for PSA is like $100 a year. So you have to like be certain you're gonna like get your money's worth out of it when it comes to grading. And right now, I'm not in like a spot where I'm like, well, there's a lot of cards I want to grade, but do I want to spend the money on it right now? And the answer is no. So as much as I want to grade those 2 cards, it's kind of only worth it if I grade like a lot of cards because the shipping's expensive, so you kind of want to grade a lot at a time. And I'm just not willing to grade a lot right now. I've also been struggling to figure out where to put this Mew. It's just like I can't set it here. I guess I could technically. No, because it's covering up I could set it right here. But it'd be really hard to control the games. I can't really sit it back here because you wouldn't. Maybe I think you can see it behind. No, it's the camera angle's not good. It was different when I had the DS because I was zoomed out more. There's a yearly charge for grading cards. No, it's a yearly charge if you want to get the magazine subscription, which honestly I don't. I didn't want the magazine subscription. That just kind of comes with it, and you just kind of have to deal with it. But if you have the membership for PSA, you get a discounted price for grading. And it definitely adds up. Because grading cards is not cheap. It's cheap for like 1 card, but the shipping is kind of the big deal. So usually you want to grade like a decent amount of cards at once, and then that's not really cheap. So like, but yeah, when you have like the membership, you get like, I think it's like $10 off per card, which is kind of a big deal. Like it only costs, it's only like, literally it's like if you grade like 10 cards, you already like made up for your membership with the discount you get. You're already like saving money at that point. So that's why I only want to like grade cards with the membership. I'm just not really willing to buy the membership and then grade a bunch of cards right now. But man, some of the cards I have, I really want to grade. Oh, what am I doing? How did I not know that I wasn't in the right spot? Why don't you shiny hunt some legendaries in Scarlet and Violet? I'm sure they would be huntable. Yeah, true. You guys see my original bingo card from this year? I posted, because like every year people do like bingo cards for like shiny hunts, and I made a joke tweet, just essentially just putting like every legendary in a bingo card from Scarlet and Violet, and man, that tweet blew up. It's like one of my most liked tweets. So many people thought I was serious, which is funny because I intentionally made sure to specify Scarlet and Violet. I forget the price difference for the membership with the grading. It's either $5 off or $10 off per grade. I should check. It might be $5 off. Last time I got the membership, I split the cost between 3 people. So it was only like $33. So like realistically, it's like if we each graded like 4 cards, we would have like paid for it on our own, which was like fine. Man, I have like no organization in my phone. You like the Pokemon pictures on my wall? Thank you. I actually made those myself. You understand the incentive to catch all the legends, but did they really have to go and shiny lock every single one? No, they didn't. It's unacceptable that they did, honestly. And the thing is, I don't think there's ever been a good reason to shiny lock Pokemon. But sometimes you like kind of understand it. You're like, okay, I get them not wanting us to hunt the like main box art legendary. The one that you like see for so long and whatnot, and then it's changed. Like I get that. But like to lock shiny legendaries that were also behind a paid DLC is just criminal. Okay, yeah, it is $10 off per grade. $10 off per card. So yeah, like if I were to like buy the membership and then grade 10 cards, that would already make the membership worth it, because that would be the difference. And I would grade more than 10 cards in a year. Do you think Game Freak will ever remove shiny Pokemon? No. I think with what we've seen with Scarlet and Violet, I think they are done letting us shiny hunt legendaries in mainline games. But I don't think they're removing. It's like they can't make up their mind. They shiny lock half the Pokemon, but then the other half are like the easiest things to find shiny, and it's like not even fun. Working on an Origin Pokedex with gender and form differences now. The only exception is Ruby Sapphire original games. You had to use ORAS for that. That's all good. Just make your own rules. Sometimes you just gotta go with what you work with. Or you just gotta work with what you have. I don't know what I said before, but that was definitely not it. Funny how the shiny lock legendaries for immersion regions, even though Scarlet and Violet exist. I don't think that's an actual reason Game Freak has. But that's what people theorize, and I think that's an awful reason. I think when people say like shinies need to be visible in the overworld or legendaries and stuff should be shiny locked so that it doesn't get like it's not realistic to have them just change shiny randomly. I think that's such a awful like reason to give because it's a Pokemon game. Nothing about it is realistic. It's a video game. Let's favor cool mechanics over realism. Like, one of the games you're going through wormholes in, like, a multiverse and finding, like, Yanmega. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So yeah, that's a terrible reason. The main reason that people give now that I believe is probably the reason they shiny lock like legendaries is so they can charge for them in Pokemon Go. They make a heck of a lot of money by people raiding in Pokemon Go to try to get shiny legendaries. I just think it's silly that like if they wanna lock legendary shiny behind paywalls, why can't we hunt them in Scarlet and Violet's DLC? That would have been the perfect, most, like, realistic paywall for a shiny legendary ever, and they just didn't do it. They actually made a Living Dex guide you've completely changed the existing one to make it perfect for an Origin Dex by changing almost everything. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Are you going off of mine, or just what other people do? Because mine I consider a pretty perfect, like, Origin Dex. There's some things that you just can't really get around, though. You did just get a shiny Pidgey in Gen 2 randomly. Nice. Yeah, but then the Pokemon from Go that have the annoying G next to their icon at home. And it's not even that. Like, that is annoying. But, like, they have to understand that a majority of the money they're going to make off of Pokemon Go is for people that only care about Pokemon Go and don't care about mainline games. And then the people that do care about mainline games, a lot of the time, don't want all of their collection to be from Go. You know? So it's just super limiting for the sake of making money when they could still make money off of it by just letting us hunt the legendaries from the DLC. You still have to pay $35 for the DLC, $70 if you want both versions. That's a lot of money to dish up for some shinies. But at least it'll be enjoyable to hunt them. It's ridiculous. So who knows? Maybe that contradicts the theory. Cost so much to do remote raids for those in remote areas. Yeah. Yeah, they ruined remote raids. That wasn't, I don't think that was Pokemon's decision, though. I think that was all Niantic. DLC is a scam. You're paying $100 to have less Pokemon than ORAS. Yeah, I think the Scarlet and Violet's DLC was a scam, too. It's like, most of the DLC in Scarlet and Violet is look at these returning Pokemon that you can shiny hunt easily now. And to me, I don't like that. One, I don't like shiny hunting in Scarlet and Violet. Two, I don't think they should use returning Pokemon to sell a DLC. Three, that shouldn't be the bulk of the DLC's value. The rest of it is, here's 10 new Pokemon that you can't shiny hunt. $70. $70 USD, which is more than a full price game. The Scarlet and Violet's base game was $60. To spend more than that just for 10 like shiny lock. Is it 10? How many is it? It's Monkey Dory, Pheasantipity, Okidogi, or Ogerpon, Terrapagos, Raging Bolt, Iron Crown, Gouging Fire, Iron Boulder. So that's 8. That's 8 shiny locked Pokemon. Then there's the returning shiny locked Pokemon, which doesn't mean anything. Then there's the only ones you can hunt are Poltergeist and Sinistcha, and then Archaludon, Dipplin, Hydrapple. And the only ones that aren't just new evolutions that you could have hunted in other games anyway is just Poltergeist and Sinistcha. Unless I'm missing something, I'm pretty sure it's if we're being really technical, it is $70 for 8 shiny locked Pokemon and essentially 2 huntable Pokemon that are new. Oh, Blood Moon, yeah. Okay, so 9. 9 shiny locked Pokemon. Pekarunt. The thing about Pekarunt is that also in like a few years or so when they shut the NSO offline, you won't be able to get that even if you pay for the DLC. So I don't know if I want to count that at all. At least for Sword and Shield, it was kind of understandable. Scarlet and Violet was like, you aren't going to fix the base game. Why pay for the DLC? Sword and Shield, the DLC was worth it. Not only was it like, the way Sword and Shield works, shiny hunting was still exciting. So when you see returning Pokemon, it's like, oh, this is a cool new way to shiny hunt these Pokemon. Awesome. But even if that's not what's getting you into it, there's still, you can shiny hunt Regidrago. You can shiny hunt Regieleki. That's 2 new shiny legendaries you can hunt. Even though they shiny locked a lot, and it sucks that they did, there's still 2 new ones you could hunt. And that's not even talking about Dynamax Adventures. Dynamax Adventures, you get so much value just from those alone, if you're a shiny hunter. That's hours upon hours upon hours of gameplay trying to collect those things. Like, the difference is crazy between the two. And the DLC is cheaper. Hated how it literally can't get it because you don't want to get the DLC. I understand them locking it behind the DLC. The thing that bothers me is the fact that they require an online a distribution item that won't be available forever. So it's like, at some point, you just won't be able to get it. So that's cool. You believe in the pre-16K Mew? I hope you're right, man. The story was good, but like, what else? Yeah. What's the best way to shiny hunt in Pokemon in Sword and Shield in the raid den? Are you talking about Dynamax Adventures, like the best way to hunt those, or like through raids, like the there's not like a good way to hunt them. You just have to see, like, you just have to get as many encounters as possible, really. You only ever spent $0 to buy raid passes in Pokemon Go. If you can't get the shiny from free passes, you don't bother. Yeah, that's how I am now. I used to spend money and I regret it, but I'm not like that anymore. Now it's like, I will use my daily free passes. If I can, I will use my coins that I earn from gyms to buy premium passes. I never buy remote passes because they're not worth it. Sword and Shield's issue was mostly gameplay. I thought the gameplay in Sword and Shield was fine. I feel like what people had issues with Sword and Shield was, you know, rightfully so, them cutting Pokemon. And also the graphics, which I thought was a bit of a not great argument. Because the graphics in Pokemon games have never been amazing, and they weren't, like, terrible in Sword and Shield. Oh yeah, I guarantee everything, every legendary and mythical in Legends ZA is going to be locked. Guarantee it. Starters will probably be locked too. Happily pay $35 to hunt Cubfu and others though. Yeah, exactly. If they just simply didn't shiny lock the returning legendaries, I would have gladly paid the $35 and been like, that was worth it to me. Like, it's crazy how much of a difference that is. Like, I hate to base everything on shiny hunting, but it's like, that's what keeps people coming back to games. That's what makes games worth it. Pokemon games worth it. And, like, you know, Like, even if I don't enjoy Scarlet and Violet, if I could do some soft resets for Shiny Cubfu, I have to do that 3 times in order to get all 3 of them. If I could do some soft resets for Shiny Cubfu, man, dude, that's so worth it to me. Like, I'm gonna be enjoying that. What's up, Cheney the Clown? Welcome in. So yeah, I would have actually like thoroughly enjoyed this DLC in Scarlet and Violet if we just could hunt like the returning legendaries. But at the state that it's in, it just wasn't worth it like at all to me. Like it just honestly felt like a scam. Like the thing that I think is a scam is them locking specific Pokemon behind the other version. Like in Sword and Shield, if you wanted all the legendaries from the DLC, you just had to make multiple save files, which was fine. It was annoying, but it was fine. This game, it's like if you want to have all the Pokemon, you have to spend $70 for the DLC, which is just ridiculous. You just don't get anything else out of it. Like, I'm gonna have to painstakingly play through the DLC of Scarlet and Violet a second time after spending an additional $35 just to catch 2 Pokemon that I can't even shiny hunt, and then I'm never gonna touch it again. Like, that's just a lot. It's a lot for not much. What's up? Can't get Rowlet? Welcome in. When am I gonna make a new Pokemon Go video? Probably never. Unfortunately, Pokemon Go is in a really bad state and is not really good for making content. And I'm not really interested. It was a lot of time and effort for me to make a Pokemon Go video that I wasn't super proud of. So I'm just kind of done with it. Just kind of enjoy the game on my own time. My original plan was to just like only make Pokemon Go videos on like big events and stuff, and maybe I'll do that again. Like maybe at some point, like if I go to like a Go Fest or something, I might make a video around that. But yeah, like I did. It was like I made a video for Hoenn Tour, and then I was like gonna make a video for last year's Go Fest, and I just didn't want to. I was just like, I don't want to. So like that was kind of the nail in the coffin for me. Was like, I gotta want to do it. I don't want to make stuff I'm not enjoying. I don't want something to feel like a chore. You're gonna transfer Shiny Legends to home and then delete Go, honestly. I like keeping Go and mainline separate, but if there's things that you have to get in Go, yeah, I'll send it up. Like, I have a Shiny Genesect in home from Go, because the only way to hunt Shiny Genesect is through Go. Or, like, I guarantee next February they'll do Shiny Victini for Unova Tour. Maybe Global Go Fest this year. I probably won't make a video on Global Go Fest this year. The dens when you get Watts points. Is this asking about... I'm not sure what you're asking, Crystal. I'm gonna be honest. Are you asking, like, the best way to get Watts from the raid dens? You just have to, like, go to the ones with the beams. Just your Darkrai Tornadus. The other shiny legends from Ultrasound Moon, I see. Still disappointed with the lack of shiny Manaphy. Okay, come on, man. I do want to hunt it at some point. It's just, you know, this Mew kind of put me back a little bit. This Mew was realistically supposed to be done by, like, March. You know? Things happened. Things came up. I have bad luck. But I do want to do Manaphy at some point. It's just going to be such... It's a hard thing to, like, pull the trigger on, you know? Oh, that's what you're saying? Oh, they didn't release Manaphy at all. I thought you were talking about the fact that I like put Manaphy on my bingo card and I haven't hunted it yet. And I also technically started hunting Mew so many years ago and just never finished it. No, I knew they weren't gonna give us all the shiny mythicals, but like them not even releasing Arceus or Manaphy or Fione was just kind of crazy. They kind of lost the idea of the tours after like the whole idea behind like the tour events got lost after the second one, which is so stupid. It's like Kanto tour released the rest of the Kanto shinies and made every Kanto shiny available, and made it so you could encounter every Pokemon from Kanto. Johto tour, more or less the same thing. Made it so that every shiny from Johto was available and you could encounter every Pokemon from Johto. Then Hoenn tour came around and it was like, here's these 3 Pokemon that are going to be boosted odds. Everything else is just going to be like not great to get and you won't be able to encounter everything. And stuff's locked behind eggs. and then Sinnoh Tour was like, yep, not release it. At least they released all the shinies for Hoenn Tour. Sinnoh Tour, it's like, alright, here's most of the shinies. A lot of them are not easy to get. And then there's a bunch of mythicals that just aren't going to be released either. And it's like, what are we doing now? And then also, here's eggs so we can make more money. Kanto, dude, I was initially disappointed in Kanto Tour as well, and like looking back, it was like so much better. All right, hold on. All right. They're definitely going to make remaining mythicals lock behind the ticket. Yeah, I think this year guaranteed we're getting shiny Victini from. It's either going to be shiny Victini or shiny Meloetta for Unova Tour come February, and it'll be the first time those are ever available in the whole history of the game, and it's going to be so sad that I'm gonna have to buy the ticket twice, so I can have one on my alt and one on my main, so I can keep the one on my main and then send the one from my alt into home just to have it in home. And it's going to take me years to complete it because I don't use my alt account that much. It's just going to suck. Supposed to be my first shiny legit Mew. Technically, this isn't 100% legit because I didn't get this. This is not a Japanese copy, and I did not go to the actual event in Japan to get this event. And technically, my first and second shiny legit Mew were the ones from Kanto Tour, from Go. So, no, but this will be my first full odds shiny Mew. If I ever get it. It's already 4:20. I might only stream for like another like 10 minutes or so. We did pretty well today. I think we have gotten over 600. I think we did better. Yeah, we definitely did better without the Bidoof. We got over 600. Usually we get like 400 to 500 in a stream. So that's good. 600 is not bad. It's kind of a drop in the bucket for where we're at, but, you know. You're not paying $15 for a shiny mythical that should have been unlocked from the beginning. Yeah, it's sad. I think shiny locking is the worst thing they've ever done in the series. The second worst thing they've done in the series was cut Pokemon from the mainline games. Which I've gotten over a bit, but I still probably will never get over it because there's still just really frustrating things that occur because they decided to start cutting Pokemon and whatnot. like selling a DLC because, oh, look at these returning Pokemon that are now available in this game that you can encounter, even though you should have been able to like at least Masuda method breed them from the start. Hypnotic's back. Do you leave your games on so you don't hit the same frames? Nope, that's completely unnecessary because it's very hard to hit the same 1/60th of a second, especially with how inconsistent this is. Also, I would never have to for this because I saved in front of the paintings in Lily Cove, in the Lily Cove contest hall, and when you interact with the paintings in the contest hall, they randomize your seed. So every time I do this, I get random frames every time. Like, I'm never getting the same frames when I do this now. So not only do you should never have to leave your games on for a shiny hunt in Emerald because of how ridiculously absurd it would be to consistently hit a 1/60th of a second over and over again. Just is never going to happen. But also, yeah, if you save in front of the frame and just every time you boot your game up, interact with the painting. I said frame. If you save in front of the painting in the Lily Cove contest hall, one of the paintings, there's a bunch of them, all of them work, it's fine. You save in front of the painting, every time you boot your game up, just interact with that painting and you get like you get completely new frames every time. Yeah, it's kind of stupid how they cut out old Pokemon, charge extra for it, and then call it a new feature, yeah. I was okay with it in Sword and Shield. I still had like a negative kind of like, man, it's kind of weird that they're like bringing back these Pokemon with the DLC instead of just free updates, which, don't get me wrong, you didn't have to buy the DLC if you could still send them in from home. So like, it's whatever. I was a little more annoyed that it was like, all right, we have to wait for the DLC to come out to get access to these Pokemon at the very least, and that's kind of annoying. But like Scarlet and Violet, because there's nothing to do with it, with like in that game, it's like 90% of that DLC is just look at these returning Pokemon, and it's just, it sucks. Yeah, Sword and Shield I was fine. Sword and Shield I thought was cool as a DLC, especially because you didn't have to buy it twice. You only had to buy it once. It was a cool way for them to not have to like make a third game that was very similar to the first two for a full $60 price tag that wasn't much different. And it was a good way to like add new features and add new mechanics to these games without like spending that much. And then Scarlet and Violet came around and was like, here's not many new features. Here's not really much more to this, and can't shiny hunt anything, and it's $35, $70 if you want everything from it. You know? After Scarlet and Violet's DLC came out, I was like, alright, I don't want them to do any more DLC. Even though the previous DLC, I was like, let's keep doing this. This is actually a good idea. I was the DLC stan, and now I'm like completely 180. What's up, Golden? Welcome in. Basically cut content that was free, then charge extra for it, yeah. Which, like, I still like that. I still thought, like, having a new area, like, a new, like, having Kitakami and, like, in the Blueberry Academy, like, it's still cool as, like, a DLC. But, yeah, just the lack of just features in Scarlet and Violet and stuff to do once you beat, like, the story. And the lack of anything being able to be shiny hunted just kind of made it not worth it. Yeah, unless they change their ways, you don't think they will. I don't think they will either. I hope they do, but I don't think they will. You skip Scarlet about DLC, bring back third versions, at least they fixed the game and gave you a second hunting copy. DLC offers zero value to the series. I don't think it adds zero value to the series. I just think it needs to be done better than how it was in Scarlet and Violet. I think Sword and Shield's DLC added a lot of value to that game. But if they're gonna do it like they are with Scarlet and Violet, then I agree. I'd rather just have a new game at that point. Because again, like I said before, in order to catch all of the Gen 9 Pokemon, you have to buy both DLCs, which is a $70 price tag. At that point, I'd rather them just make a new game, and then I'd pay less for that. Like, I hate to say it, but, like, that is kind of reality. I was always on, like, the bandwagon of, like, they need to slow down the production of their games. And I still am. But Scarlet and Violet put me in a position where it's like, I want them to take their time on the games. I want them to be good. But I also don't want Scarlet and Violet to be the main game for the next, like, 2+ years. Because I'm, like, I need something new that's, like, better. So it's just, like, a weird mindset I'm in right now. All right, I'm gonna get to 15,400, and then I'm gonna end, which is pretty good because that's 700 encounters on stream, which is like better than what we've been doing. Ports really would have saved Pokemon on Switch for you. I don't think Pokemon on Switch is bad, but ports would have made them that much better. But again, every time we mention like ports of like the older games on the Switch, I always have to stress it's still like a scary thing because the way I see it, I would love for them to like imagine they do Emerald on the Switch and they make it so you can get the events like Deoxys and Mew and hunt them. That'd be awesome. They did that with Celebi in Gen 2. That'd be so cool. But I can't help like the negative side of me I can't help but to think, well, if they put like a bunch of the earlier gens on the Switch, they have more of a reason to shut Bank down. And I hope they don't use that as a reason to shut Bank down. Yeah, the ports would cheapen the OG cartridges. I actually don't mind BDSP. I think it's the worst remake, but like I still get enjoyment from it. I still come back to it. Doing like contests and stuff. At least you can hunt Arceus in BDSP. Yeah, you can hunt everything in BDSP. That is one of the best things about BDSP. You can hunt everything except for those 2 gift Pokemon. Which makes sense, because they're just like predetermined events. You have about like 10 whack stones in Quest. I've never played Quest, so I have no idea what that is. Don't think they shut Bank down just because it messes up the entire system being able to transfer the weight from OG cards. It would kill the franchise if they killed Bank. Bank is a huge mistake since now it's becoming a huge weight on the series. I mean, the same thing's going to happen to Home one day, but the reality is that they can't just keep those servers up forever. They will have to shut it down. We don't know when. They will have to shut them down one day. We don't know when. It could be 10 years from now, but at one day they will have to shut down the Bank servers. The question is, are they going to do something to make it so that you can still, like, transfer your Pokemon normally? That's what I want to know. But yeah, I mean, the same thing will happen to Home one day, too. You started shiny hunting Scarlet Violet for living decks, egg hatching only. You have 2 out of the Sprigatito line so far. Something about the surprise of hatching shinies excites you compared to Overworld. Yeah, I mean, that's just how shiny hunting is. Like, you just don't expect it. It's hard to get, and like when you get it, it's crazy. And I feel like the Overworld takes away a lot of that, especially how they did the Overworld in Scarlet and Violet, where there's like no sparkle or anything. There's just no like jolt of like excitement. It's like a... Is that a shiny? I think that's a shiny. Oh, it is. Yeah, it is. Whack Whack Stones add 1 repetition of a move and makes the move take longer to recharge so you can use again. Interesting. Your internal battery died while hunting Kyogre and Sapphire, but you got a shiny Torchic on the same file, so do you think it's still possible to hunt Kyogre? I don't know if the seed is, like, different. I'm not sure, but you could always just replace the battery. I'm not sure if it... Did you get the Torchic with a dead battery? If the Torchic was with a real battery, then that doesn't mean anything. Sorry, did I say real battery? A working battery. If you got the Torchic with a working battery, that will, that doesn't mean anything if you can get a Kyogre or not. Saved a lot of hunts and Heart Gold, Soul Silver, the Snorlax, Suicune, and the Roamers for when you beat the red and grind the Heart Gold, Soul Silver. Is ridiculous. It's so hard to, like, get through the Kanto part of like, just Johto, because the level scaling's so bad. You need to have, like, level 60 plus Pokemon, but every Pokemon you encounter is, like, level 30, so it just, like, doesn't help at all. It was working when you got the Torchic? Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. Because if it's working, you have good RNG, so, like, you're getting random frames every time. Yeah. I would say, if you say you can't solder, I would say try to find someone that you know who could solder. It's very simple. Like, I'm assuming you mean you can't solder because you don't have the equipment, I would assume is what you mean. I would say try to find someone who knows how to solder and can solder, and just try to, like, ask them for help. And then try to do the battery thing. I have the video on my YouTube channel of the battery holder. Get some of those so that once they do it once, you never have to ask them again. When you find a shiny, it's like, oh, a shiny, compared to other games where it's like, oh, yes, a shiny. Yeah, true. For me, it's like, oh, there's the shiny. I'm gonna get this Mew, and it's gonna be like, dude, oh my gosh, shiny Mew. It's all about expectation, really. Seed stays the same if the internal batteries run dry. You can determine the seed through, though, even find out. Determine the seed, though, and then even find out shiny frames. Yeah, but they got the shiny Tor. I mean, like, you could do that for Kyogre, but it wouldn't be, like, super legitimate. It'd be, like, just, like, using RNG abuse for the Kyogre, which I think would probably ruin the point for them. They were asking, like, because they got the Torchic, it was like, if they got the Torchic on the dead battery, that'd be different. But if they got a Torchic on a working battery, it's like, you'd have no idea if... Constantly beating the specific level and you're low on cooking ingredients. Dude, I don't know anything about quests. It is funny, though, with this Mew hunt, I've learned a lot more about, like, how the RNG works, even though I felt like I already knew everything about it. Like, just doing, like, some research on, like, the paintings and whatnot, like, made me kind of, like, understand how these things work now a little more. It's kind of cool. Did I ever get a shiny Trickeria back in September in 855 soft resets, and you got shiny Lugia before Elite Four last week of May? Since you started hunting late September, it was about... Man, I can't... Sometimes the text perfectly gets cut off by this heart in the bottom right. 5 to 6 KSRs. I would love... How do I get out of here? There we go. I would love to get a hunt, like, under 5k soon. That'd be awesome. You get a shiny Growlithe? Nice. You can still get the Kyogre, but you'd have to wait longer and longer every reset, and you probably end up looping frames a lot after weeks. Yeah, it's just not worth it. You could do, like, Runaways, it'd be worth it, but you can't in Ruby Sapphire. Alright, this will be the last one for the day. No shiny. That's okay. We'll try again tomorrow, hopefully. But I'm going to end it here. Thank you to everyone who tuned into the stream, and I will see you next time.